Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to The World's Gone Insane. Let's talk about it, or as I'm soon going to be calling it, Cucked by the Rich. I'm not actually going to call it that. Welcome, Zam. Welcome to the stream. We've got a few things to go through. I'm very, very, very tired and very cold today, so I'm not going to dwell
Likewise.
too much on things. We're going to get through as much as we can. And I always say that, then we end up going for it longer because by the time my mouth starts running, I seem to wake up. So with that being said, I'm just gonna get into it.
I'll tell
And
you this, mate.
huh?
I'll tell
Yeah,
you this. Next time I see a guy walking around with the end is near sign over their bodies, I won't take the piss out of them ever again.
yeah, because they're right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
now,
feels like
now,
that.
now they're right. The end is near. But I say fuck it, bring on the end. Who cares? I just don't care anymore. Just I've said that before. I'm in full on nihilist mode, so whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What's there left? Like until people rise up and do a bunch of Luigi's, nothing's gonna fucking change. So so good. Oh, Rick B, Rick B with a cold. Hello, Rick B. Rick B, just the man. A perfect way to start the podcast. So, Richard B. Pennyworth. I need to know, just purely out of nosiness, what it is that you did to get your main account completely banned from Facebook. Because in order to do that, you've got to be posting some absolute depraved shit or being really abusive towards people. So please enlighten us. How do you get your main account banned? Like, I've had a load of Facebook bans, but I've never been threatened once in losing my account. Um, I mean, we all remember the kind of well, it been a period between I think 2016 and 2018 where you would no 2019 yeah until about there was about 3 or 4 year period where you're just getting banned for literally the most mediocre shit on Facebook. I don't know if you remember that, Zam, but
Well, I remember like I got banned for a few things. I think the one thing that sticks out to me though, what I did get banned for, which in a way quite rightly I deserve to get banned, but I was posting this on the 5G memes Facebook page. If, by the way, you should all check out that page. There's some good memes on that page.
oh
And it was
yes.
basically a picture of a guy who had somehow opened up his foreskin, and inside his foreskin were like cigarette butts and
Oh,
ashes.
I remember.
Yeah. And I thought, wow, that looks pretty cool. Let me post that on this particular Facebook page where we post shit like that. But no, immediately as soon as I posted it, boom, ban.
Yeah, I
Ban
mean,
came straight away.
to be fair, I got the first ban I ever received. I'll send this to you on WhatsApp. Because I still have it because it's just bloody hilarious. It's not like dirty, but it is like considered nudity for fucking Facebook. Let me see, where is
Somebody
it?
showing an elbow.
Hmm? It's an artistic reinterpretation of Peter Griffin. So let me I'll just get
My
him.
imagination's going crazy right now.
Yeah, just give me
God,
one
these drinks are
second.
making me hiccup.
There you
I'm
go.
not sick, by the way, just so people are wondering.
Ah,
Um,
right, so you can check your phone.
yeah, yeah, I can check it on my computer. I got it synced up.
Yeah, that's what I've just said.
Yes, 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 yes. I think I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I've had it for like 15, 16 years. I've had that thing from, and I've posted it a few times on Facebook. And I guess after a while, they're just like, no. There was also another one I had, which was just a drawing, which used to be allowed. I mean, Slash from Guns N' Roses was able to put full nudity on his page and never get banned. And I just put a post of Jesus, and it's just Jesus fucking Christ. So it's just like Jesus giving anal to Jesus, and I got a ban for that. But then I was just getting banned for like just innocuous things of just disagreeing with like just disagreeing with right wingers. It got to the point where it just became insane. It was like literally get banned, serve the ban, get another ban, and all that. And it was at the point where I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna chuck Facebook because you can't even just call people an idiot without getting a 30-day ban. It was ridiculous. Yeah, send it to me. It's my second account I've lost. I've shared a meme, got a 60-day ban. Then they asked me to provide ID. Oh my god. No, I would never go. I would never do that.
Yeah, the ID's a bit sketchy, mate.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah. Wait, how are you going to send me that on Messenger if you don't have your? Oh, well, you could do it through the Daphne.
You can copy and paste it, no? And
Oh yeah, here we go, Daphne. What is wrong with that? I'll send that to you, Zam.
yeah, send it on
It's so
WhatsApp.
stupid. It's brilliant. Like I love dumb shit. Like even if it makes no sense, it is fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, but that is no. Anyway, Facebook should allow nudity. If Twitter does, and Twitter's been absolutely fine, even like we're talking post Musk era, you know. There you go. Brilliant.
I like it a lot.
Ah, that's fucking. That's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. They should. They should never have banned you for that. Obviously, it's an accumulation because your main second account has always been banned. Like as far back as we've known you now, it's always just getting banned all the time. You might as well I might as well just send you a friend request on that account. Then hang on.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, that's a great meme.
If we post these on contributors, we won't get banned, will we?
What's that? No,
Fair enough.
no. It's Rick B. Yeah, Rick. You know what? You should play the race card or the conservative victim card. That'll be right. I'm gonna start with a light one here. It's not really light because it's fucking morbid and ironic in every other way. No, I'll get the British stuff out of the way because the American stuff we're gonna be here all night. Uh, so share screen. Yes, I want to share my screen. Do I need to share the audio? No, I don't. Okay. So head of black Met of Met. Fucking hell. Head of Met Black Officers. What a title. Head of the Metropolitan Police Black Officers Group guilty of misconduct in WhatsApp chats. And you're just like, oh god, what's he been doing? Sending like, horrible sexist remarks and all of that. Expected Charles sorry, I've butchered that, could lose his job after ruling that he took part in sharing sexist comments. And you think it end there, but racist remarks. This is why I had to share this because the head of the Metropolitan Police's Black Police Association, which is what the fucking title should have said, committed gross misconduct of his participation in a WhatsApp group that shared sexist comments and racist remarks about Asian people, a police tribunal found. An African man, I'm guessing, of African descent, probably born here in the UK. Fucking, this is what I mean. Like, oh, racism is just everywhere. And he just, why would he, as a black police officer, be any different to his white counterparts as well? Like, this is just ridiculous. He faces potential dismissal after Friday's tribunal ruling at Palestra House in London. If found, it found he was in a chat group with former police officer Carlo Francisco, where racist, misogynistic, homophobic, and pornographic messages were sent. I mean, this is nothing new for police officers. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name again. I'm sorry. said the claims were fabricated or falsely attributed to him because of his race or position. Aha! Oh, come on. Hang on. But did he send the stuff? He made. Oh, hang on. Did he say the stuff? Or did. Well, anyway, that's not the point. You can't be whipping out the race card here. But the panel led by Commander Jason Prince found the allegations were proven and amounted to gross misconduct. They found his involvement in the chat breached standard. Oh, so he was involved in respect of equality and diversity, discreditable conduct, and challenging reporting improper conduct. He said that his behavior was so serious to potentially justify dismissal. The tribunal heard that in more than 7,000 messages
Wow.
in between 2017 and 2020, I don't even think I've ever sent 7,000 messages to any all of my contacts that I have on fucking WhatsApp, let alone Jesus Christ. Sent and received jokes, pictures, and videos described by James Berry representing the Met as disgraceful and inappropriate. He also failed to report the inappropriate content. In one message, chap sent an image of Playboy founder Hugh Hefner with a comment, message from the other side. Tell the Muslims there's no 72 virgins left.
Oh God.
That's not racist at all. That's just a joke. It's like literally a joke to say
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Oh, God's sake.
That is
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah, that's brilliant. Francesco sent a message mocking Kate Price's disabled son Harvey. Okay, that's not nice. The message included of a man snorting white powder through a tube wearing a mask of Harvey's face. Oh, why? I don't get the context between Harvey's face and the cocaine. I'm still laughing at the 72 virgins, by the way, not the Harvey thing.
No, the quality joke.
Yeah, it's a great joke. I don't get the context. Like, is that mocking Harvey if he's just put a face mask on and he's snorting coke? Unless he said something mocking. That's a weird one. I mean, it's not nice. Like, Harvey should be off limits. Like, just don't fucking touch Harvey, man. He can't defend himself, so leave the poor guy alone. In
Yep.
2023, Francisco was separate found guilty of gross misconduct over messages shared. I can't stop thinking about the fucking joke. Including some about Harvey. There was also a series of racist messages about Chinese people. Sorry, I'm not laughing at the Chinese people. The tribunal heard stop sending or receiving this silly pawns, saying he could get in trouble. So Ehi Kia warned Francisco to stop sending or receiving these silly pawns as it could get him into trouble. The hearing was so that Francisco replied, I personally trust everyone I share something with, but sorry, Charles, I have to stop sharing with you now. This is followed by two smiley faces and later a post saying, April Fool, my brother. Oh, okay. There was also a clearly racist video mocking a Korean woman pronouncing Coca-Cola, graphic images of a woman on her period, and pictures of a woman's face being slapped with an erect penis. Jesus
No,
Christ.
I've seen that a few times though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that one's innocuous. We've seen that a
But
million.
it's consenting, just so people know
Yeah,
what I've seen.
yeah, as long as they're
And they slap
consenting.
themselves with it. They've actually grabbed it and whacked themselves with it. You know. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
but let's be perfectly honest here. This is nothing new for the Met Police. I mean, if you know coppers, they're just sick fucks. But the fact that you have no no common sense to understand the importance of your position, and you are engaging in the very thing that has been an issue within the Met Police, and yet you're still um and you're just ignoring that fact, and you're still engaging in this. Like, at some point, you've got to think, this could come to a loggerhead. But hey, listen, if my local police force can have a prominent fucking Nazi in their ranks, then nothing is surprising at all. So, your thoughts, Sam?
This is the first I've heard of all of this, but I'm not surprised that we have this locker room talk um in on the WhatsApp chat. I mean, we have our own chats. I have various chats on Facebook and WhatsApp, and yeah, people talk all manners of stuff. I've been guilty of it as well.
We
I
do it all
wouldn't
the
I, I,
time.
I
But
wouldn't say I've been. It's funny the way, like, that 72 virgin joke. That's something I would make, but that's because I'm not religious, and it's more me condemning and taking the piss out of the religion and
but
being
it's
an
not.
atheist.
But the thing is, it's not even taking the piss out of the religion. The context behind that is saying that Hugh Hefner is such a shagger that he's shagged every 72 virgins that is expected that the Muslims are expecting. It's like it's not even really attacking the religion. It's more to say, that's how much of a shagger Hefner is. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
I get, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, um,
No, but it's weird in a way. Like, I don't know really how to articulate this. I'm not surprised at the same time. Like, is is there anything in that article that really makes him stick out as like some sort of like fascist hierarchy member of the Met Police? Because
no,
making
not
some
really.
crude jokes, making some crude jokes, we're all capable of. I've always said there's like some of the stuff you say and stuff, it has to come from certain places. Like, are you making it? Does it come from a place of jest, or does it come from a place of hatred? And those things do matter when making jokes. You can make fun of a particular demographic and not hate them for it, whilst a lot of people
Yeah,
do. You know,
yeah.
so
But I think for me,
yeah.
the context is that it's his position and what he represents. You know, I'm not against people sharing among mates what they're going to share. Like, do what you're going to do, but you're sharing this with other police officers. You're the head of the black kind of group that's meant to be there to kind of help promote diversity, inclusion within the police force, and to root out the racism. And you're sitting there participating in it. It's that you've got to strike. You've got to know your limits. Like if I went into like politics, like proper, I wouldn't be doing all of this like on a weekly basis. I'd also shut down all my social medias and all this kind of stuff, and go dark in that regard, and just you know just
Does he make a lot of bad
behind the
comments though? I mean,
scenes,
you said you
even
said you
behind.
said
Sorry,
you said he made 7,000 comments. Is that correct?
7,000. Yeah, 7,000. Yeah. So
And of this sort of caliber.
yeah, apparently so. A lot of them were sexist, racist remarks. Let me go back to it. Hang on. Let me
Anything,
see.
yeah, but honestly, I need something that really, really stands out at this moment in time, because if this is the best they got, then I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, how much
So
of this
the
article I should
tribunal
believe.
said that in more than 7,000 messages between 2017 and 2020, Ehikioya, fucking hell, that's really bugging me. Ehikioya, Ehikioya, there you go. Sent and received jokes, pictures, and videos described by James Barry representing the disgraceful and inappropriate, and he also failed to report the inappropriate content. Now, again, I've said if that's mates sending this kind of stuff, it's different. But when you're in the MBPA, you've got to know that two things. Number one, you have to put on a front to show that you're a respectful representative of your community and the people that you are there to, represent. That's the same thing. I don't know why I resaid it in a different way. And the second thing is if you're getting sent that kind of shit, you better to report it. But also, just don't participate in this kind of stuff. Like it's different if it's among mates. You know what I mean? Mates will send people the most fucking crazy shit. It's to be expected within reason. Like I'm not saying like it's acceptable. Like look, me and all my friends are all from like different ethnic backgrounds. not just Zam, but a lot of like, my friends that I've known from outside of social media that I'm still friends with. Now we're all from different ethnic backgrounds, and we always send each other racist shit, but it's racist shit that's targeted at each other's kind of cultures, and it's not like race is bad. It's like racist, silly stereotype kind of stuff.
Yeah, silly
And
stereotype. Yeah.
yeah, but that's among friends. When you're in the police, there's supposed to be a certain level of professionalism. Like I can't use my work social media, for example, to be sending private messages to other organizations, like talking bollocks and posting racist shit about certain communities. So this guy shouldn't have been really engaging in that. That's the only issue I find. Like, again, behind closed doors, privately, do what you want. No, nobody should ever pretend to be squeaky clean because nobody's squeaky clean. No, but like you know, I would sit there and I would champion women's rights till the hills come home, and help to like empower women or get behind women that want to empower themselves and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, I'm going to sit there and lose my absolute mind when I see a great piece of ass. You know what I mean? But
Or make it maybe make it a silly joke, maybe borderline misogynistic or whatever. Yeah, there's nothing. I think there's nothing wrong in making a joke, as long as once again is it coming from a place of hate and oppression, or is it coming from jest? Like I told you about the time I made that joke about Madonna. You
yeah,
know, and her face looking like she's been stung by bees, and
but
then
that's not
my
a
feminist
misogynistic
friends.
joke.
No, but
That's how
but
they
my feminist
perceive it.
friends came after me. You
Yeah, that's
know,
how they perceived it because they only see that this is a woman being attacked, but it's just like, well, no, hang on, we've gone after Zac Efron and Mickey Rourke and anyone because, and it's not from a place of hate. It's to say, don't do this, please. It's unnecessary, and you never come out looking great. I mean, again, Zac Efron, absolute beautiful man, and he's what, late 30s, and he looks like shit. And if
yeah.
we posted
He looks
that,
like
would
he's in his
you get
40s
the
already.
same
You know what I mean?
response as if you did with Madonna? Yeah, me too, Rick.
Yeah. And like, I did get some good rebuttals because I was thinking of what I was gonna say, and I told them, I said that people saying that they can do what they want. If they want to look like they've been stung by bees, they can do. But I did just say to them, look, as soon as I saw this picture, my first thing was that she looked like she'd been stung by bees, and I felt like I had to say that. That was it, and forgive me for and then they're coming after me saying that that I'm this affects women and beauty standards and stuff like that, and I'm thinking no, like then I made that comment about Mickey Rourke and me making fun of him, saying that he looks like he's melted or something like that, and nobody cares because I'm making fun of him.
Yeah,
You
that's what I
know,
mean.
I
There's a
wouldn't.
double
Yeah,
standard there. We're not attacking women. Like we feel bad that they
yeah. He
have
looked
to
like leather.
endure.
He looks like his face looks like Leatherface's mask or something like that. That's what I said. Yeah, yeah. From
Uh,
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah,
Rusty has a great point about the ex copper. Sounds like he has a great future as a comedian. Well, with that 72 Virgins joke, I don't think he wrote it, but I think he shared it. It's a fucking great joke, by the way. I like that joke. Yeah, I'm. I wish that meme was circulating when Hefner died because we would have had a lot of fun with that. But anyway, that's the Met Police officer being and yet another typical Met Police officer and not thinking twice about maybe I shouldn't be doing this uh, with other officers because it might come back to bite me in the ass. Because eventually you're going to let someone into that group that's going to be like, ooh, I don't like this, or ooh, I can capitalize on this and be a snitch and a kiss ass and further my own career. There's always that aspect. I love the self-flagellation people on the left go through after telling a joke. Totally unnecessary, but hilarious. Well, unfortunately we have to sit there and fucking contextualize things because of Americans more than anything. Because it's Americans that struggle with understanding that you're being funny or sarcastic. So you've got to sit there, break it down, and all that. But
Oh yeah,
among normal
especially
people,
just
we
right
don't.
wingers in general, which is, and you know what, that kind of quietly swings along perfectly about breaking things down because this guy I'm about to roast right now is actually a
Oh,
friend of mine. Yeah, and he goes by the moniker of the Block,
I'm still
and
here, just readjusting my chair.
no problem. And he's part of NerdTube. Block is. Um, he's self-proclaimed libertarian. Likes to maybe, and I think I think with like with libertarians just generally, or people who like to put themselves in the middle, is that I personally have never met a centrist who's not been right wing, and this guy is a prime example of that. Because as much as we try to make him see the light, unfortunately, his default settings is always going to be right wing. So before I tear him a new asshole, let's just have a quick look at this video. It's about 5 minutes.
Did you all boo
Oops,
Hulk
sorry. There we go.
Hogan? Bobby Black, why did you boo Hulk Hogan? Before I give my
Bobby Back did not boo Hulk
opinion,
Hogan, by the way.
my thesis on this matter, my opinion, thesis on this matter is brought to you by Monster Energy Drink.
We're sorry,
Drink this.
you have to endure this
On the foundation
stupidity,
of
but
wrestling,
it's worth
and
it.
definitely WWF, WWE. He, along with a few others, built that place. They went national. They went mainstream. Becoming a household name. So without Hulk Hogan, most of us that are watching wrestling, that are making videos on TikTok or YouTube, we wouldn't be here as far
Okay,
as.
you need to pause. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to do a little. Sometimes I need to just make people understand that sometimes you got to look at things as what if. Yeah, and Hulk Hogan ended up being the main guy for a couple of decades because he was not going to have it any other way. Nobody else was going to get it over. So this idea that wrestling has gone into the 21st century with Hulk Hogan because of Hulk Hogan is stupid. Other people could have taken the baton. Maybe the wealth might have been shared a little bit more. You know, during the 80s, we only had two or three world champions: Hulk Hogan, Savage, and Warrior. Pretty much. Oh, we were a little bit of Slaughter and Yokozuna, thrown in there in the latter parts. But it was mainly Hulk Hogan hogging the limelight for a good half a decade before he fucking relinquished that fucking belt. So to say he is the man of the hour and we should respect him because of where we are in wrestling at the moment is stupid. Because what if it wasn't him? It could have been somebody else. Wrestling could have gone in a different direction. This is just bullshit.
Being here on video and making commentary and all this stuff. Hulk Hogan is the reason we're in wrestling. Is the reason it went mainstream. I can't condone or celebrate anything he's done in the past, behind the curtain. I'm not here to say he's a great, wonderful human being. I'm here to say, how come these standards that you boo Hulk Hogan, you don't even recognize his historical achievements and accolades? You're just like, boo! How come this doesn't transfer to like sports or music or Hollywood? I don't see you booing people when they're charged with, domestic violence or various other things. There's some horrible people in Hollywood, in professional sports. They all do bad, not all do bad things. I'm saying there's a lot that do bad things, and yet you're like, yay, that person can throw a football really far. Yay, I'll just ignore all that stuff they do. That's their personal life. I'll just ignore it. Or someone throws a sick beat. Hey, they're really cool and awesome. Who cares if they're doing whatever to their spouse or their children, or they're convicted of or accused even.
Yeah, I was going to look for a better spot to pause it, but I have some stuff to say still.
You
We
go
do
first, and I'll
we
chime
do
in after.
condemn many people in sports and Hollywood, who have done terrible things. People like Bill Cosby, for instance, and Harvey Weinstein. And God, his name. Why does his name always Kevin Spacey? These are Hollywood people, and nobody loves them. P Diddy is another one. You know, we we don't give these people a pass because they fucking body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 for fuck's sake. You know, like if you've done some terrible things, you know, and that's the thing you have to understand. These people have done terrible things that surpass their achievements in entertainment. Then you have to condemn them. What have you got to say?
So, look, he's not wrong on one thing, that there are a contingent of people that are willing to overlook a lot of the atrocities that their favorite athletes and all that do, as long as they keep getting results. Of course, there's always a contingent of that people. I mean, you know, we have Rick B here who loves Hulk Hogan. So, but you've got to also praise the set of fans that are just not willing to put up with the bullshit anymore. Okay, and like wrestling is always that fine line between dealing with the most toxic fans, but also with a fan base that is just sick and tired of putting up with like that old school wrestling mentality. Now, compared to a lot of other wrestlers, Hogan is not the worst. But what Hogan is, he is a chronic liar, a racist, and a backstabber. And people know this. This has all been
Union Buster.
yeah, and a union buster, and this has all been made aware to everyone. And wrestling fans know that about him, and it doesn't help where in the climate you go on stage at the MAGA event. I know you could argue, you know, there's Triple H and there is Undertaker and all of that. And all that, but you go on there, you rip a thing, and also you're now like sponsoring WWE with your shitty beer, and people just like, look, we booed Hulk Hogan back in WrestleMania 37, which was in Florida, by the way, a fascist state. Okay, so it's not really politics. It's just people are sick of Hogan. They know what a piece of shit Hogan is. And you should be praising people for saying, no, we're not going to tolerate this. Like, I suspect if the rumors are true that Ric Flair will come back, he'll probably get booed. Ric Flair, it has a history of indecent exposure, sexually assaulting women, and just being an overall sleazy piece of crap. If you took that away from the equation, and people, you know, nobody would care. Like if Ric Flair comes back, quick cheer, then it's like go away. But it's people are just tired of the thing, especially after the speaking out movement that really shook wrestling to its core. People are just not willing to tolerate any more bullshit from wrestlers because they know what garbage humans and dangerous they can be. And just Hogan would just epitomize everything that was wrong with like Vince McMahon's era of wrestling, this kind of rah rah Americana, and people just don't want to see it anymore. They're sick and tired of it.
Yeah, it's a global event.
Yeah, with the Undertaker, you rarely got a dip in quality. The man was always entertaining and
Locker
great,
room
and it wasn't
leader.
about himself. It was about protecting the product, but also helping young men. He's always had a great reputation as a locker room leader behind the stages and an all-round really nice guy. Doesn't matter if he's a conservative. Doesn't matter that he had Trump on his podcast. Again, I said some people are going to be like that. That's fine, but I still take nothing away from Undertaker. Triple H, okay, not the best, very good at burying people, but when he was handed the reins, NXT, he made an incredible product. People loved Triple H, the booker. They loved Triple H, the producer. They didn't really like Triple H, the wrestler, at all. He had a lot of go away heat because they were tired of his burying. But Hogan, they were fed up with him. He just wouldn't disappear from the limelight, even when WCW was dying and that whole old guard needed to go. Hogan still refused and still took a lot of fucking money and helped bury WCW in the end. So that's why. Nothing to do with anything. And no, you don't owe anyone respect just because they helped make the movement. You're going to say that about Vince McMahon. You know, fuck Vince McMahon.
It's
And
what it is
McMahon
today. It could have been
was a
something totally
detriment to
different.
wrestling.
It could have been something totally different. If Vince McMahon wasn't at the helm, we all knew there was other. It wasn't like Vince McMahon created wrestling. There was other territories. There was other people in charge. There were other big names like Dusty Rhodes and so on who could have been the top tier guy. You know, things could have gone totally in a different direction. But I just want to also add that he's going on about why aren't you upset about these people and that people? How the fuck do you know that these people are not upset by these things? You don't know. You're only bringing this shut up for as a stupid rebuttal to something that is impossible to show because you don't know people are not pissed off with Diddy and Bill Cosby and whatever, and they have been. You know, when you mentioned why they're not pissed off with sports or Hollywood or music, they have been. You know, once you found, you know, there's a guy called Andrew. I think his name was Andrew Johnson. He ended up being a nonce in the
Oh, yeah,
UK.
the footballer.
Yeah, the footballer. He's in jail now. You know, there's no love for him. You know, there's no love for him. You know,
Mason
we
Mount.
found that. Yeah, Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, the guy
Well,
who was
Mason Mount. Mason Mount is fucking Captain Pike on fucking Star Trek.
what?
Is it? No,
Who's
that's
the
Anson
footballer?
Mount.
Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood.
Mason
Sorry,
Mason Greenwood. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
but look, no. But my point
Love
is
Mason Mount.
like, you know, like he's I want to continue listening to him, but he's just saying that, you know, we should show maybe a little bit more respect and people should speak out about other things, but they have been blocked. For some reason, you're using this as a rebuttal, and it's not a rebuttal at all.
Yeah, just one
Anyway,
second.
Even
Sorry, guys.
yeah,
I have to disagree. It's not to do with the politics because he was booed massively at WrestleMania 37. This was before he came out as a Trump guy. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. I had
Hassan
no
Shah,
idea
you're
about
right.
that, by the way, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay,
something heinous. Ah, whatever. I'm just a really big fan. They couldn't have done that because their music's so cool. And same thing with actors and actresses. Kind of the same deal. You put these people up on a pedestal and just love them. But for some reason, Hulk Hogan.
so very quickly, like for instance, Ezra Miller is a nonce. I watched The Flash for what it is, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that great of a film, to tell you the truth. But I separated myself from knowing that he's a nonce just to see what the film is like. But I always acknowledged that he's a fucking nonce. When I
And
watch
that you
something
never
with
want to
maybe,
see him again after that.
and I'm glad he's no longer going to be representing the character of the Flash ever again, because he's a fucking nonce and he's a fucking nutcase as well. So
Yeah.
fuck Ezra Miller. Yeah. So once again, Block is just talking a lot of shit.
Hogan is just the favorite whipping boy now. Suddenly, all you people come out of the woodwork and be like, look at me! I have morals and ethics, and I'm going to condone Hulk Hogan for his badness.
You damn fucking right, dude. You know, you damn right. You know, the guy's a fucking racist. He's a union buster. You know, he never tried to put anyone over. You know, that doesn't work for me, brother. Saying that's why he was at the top of the fucking food chain for as long as he has been. The most for me, it was the incident with Nick Carter that I hate. I despised him the most. Sorry, not Nick Carter, Nick Hogan, because Nick Hogan was driving his car and he had his friend in the car and he crashed the car, and unfortunately his friend got crippled. And Hogan mentioned that, you know, it was God's will or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's
Why his
stupid
friend got
shit.
why his friend got crippled. You know, and regarding woulda, coulda, shoulda, yeah, it could have been a whole different type of thing. But I'm not going to fucking give them a round of applause. Hulk Hogan, in a way, by not like letting other people go, you know, reach the top, you know, made it all about him. And I'm glad that it's not all, you know, it is to a degree. I'm glad it's all about him at this moment in time, because people are looking at him in a negative light. You know, he got too big for his boots.
Yeah. Also, you know, look, there's a far difference between acknowledgement and then just accepting that because they achieved something that we have to respect them. You don't have to respect them. You can acknowledge that what they did. Let's say, for example, Ronaldo raped and killed a woman. You'd still say, yeah. Oh, Chris Benoit, prime example. Chris Benoit, one of the best wrestlers, phenomenal, always put on entertaining matches, absolutely great talent, human piece of shit, and nobody needs to acknowledge him beyond after what he did. You not acknowledge.
Hello, Mrs. Susan.
Show him, publicize him after what he did. You know what I mean? What he
Yeah,
did was
praise him, his
horrible.
accolades. I get it.
Yeah, and and you could argue that he at least had an excuse with all the CTE, but still, no, it's unacceptable. What you did is unacceptable, and you deserve to be buried and never fucking mentioned again. But we do acknowledge what a great wrestler he was. That's the difference. We're not going to sit there and just say, okay, well, I tell you what, because he was a great wrestler, all is forgiven that he murdered his wife and child. That's ridiculous. And we're not. Nobody's canceling Hulk. Hulk's not cancelled. You know, he's got beer. He's got money. He's at. I think he's going
The
to be.
people have spoken. You know,
And it's not the
that's
left. It's not the left. Like left and right, people just don't like Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry, dude. They don't. He ruined TNA as well. That's another thing people forget. He ruined TNA along with Bischoff, and people
yeah.
don't forget that.
Got rid of
He,
the 6 sides and shit. Like
yeah, he's always been a mind. Well, to be fair, okay. To be fair, the wrestlers were happy that they got rid of the six side because it was a horrible
I
ring.
know,
They
I
didn't
get
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
We as fans hated that he got rid of it, but I have to acknowledge if the wrestlers don't like it, okay, that's fair enough. But they just ruined TNA. Just
No,
turn
but
it from total
his
action.
comments though, like I'll never forget. Goes, this is we're going to be wrestling in a wrestling ring, not in a pig pen, brother. I'm thinking, you fucking cunt, when he
Yeah,
said it like that. Yeah, you know
yeah,
what I mean.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
regardless, so like he does ruin
Hate
things.
system, all
It,
good.
so and him being cancelled. No, the people have spoken. We don't want him. They don't want him because why would they want somebody they don't want? Why should we bow down to this fucker and make him sell his shitty beer to us? They don't want him. People have spoken. He's the entertainment industry. If you're not popular, get the fuck out. You got a shitload of money. You got endorsements coming out your fucking asshole. I'm sure if he goes to Texas next week, they'll be all fucking lining up to suck his dick. So
Yeah.
please, you know what I mean? This stuff is just a load of bullshit. It's a load of fucking bullshit. And you know what? I pretty much said what I had to regarding the block, regarding why people booed him, why they booed him, not because of his political beliefs. If that was the case, as we said earlier, Undertaker, Triple H, and various other wrestlers. AJ Styles is a flat earther. He's a fucking flat earther, man. The guy is fucking. He's an absolute idiot. When you watch him up, down, down, as talented as he is, he comes across as a man, a little man who's so fucking stupid. Gormless little twat. Phenomenal wrestler, regardless of him being a flat fucking earther. I'm sure he's a fucking Trump supporter as well. If he's a flat earther, I've never known anyone who's a fucking flat earther not to be a fucking Trump supporter. So, hello.
Hello.
So, saying all of that, he still gets a lot of fucking love. Undertaker still does. Triple H obviously does. I'm sure people like Kane does as well. You know what I mean?
We'll always love AJ Styles until he, turns out to be a. Again, whatever your belief system is, as long as you don't bring it to the forefront and hurt anyone else with it. Like you want to be a flat earther, you want to be an anti-vaxxer, you want to love Trump. Nothing wrong with that. But weaponizing that to hurt others, that's where you fucking draw the line. You know what I mean? And because him, Triple H, and the Taker aren't doing that, they just acknowledging what they are, then people still love him for it. But Hogan, it's not the politics; it's everything else. Cheeto, your thought?
I think the politics had something to do with it, though. Like I get it. I agree with 100% of what you're saying, but I think that is the most recent thing in people's mind. And he was in a super blue state in a super blue city of LA. So I think you're right, and I think that, but also the politics probably had
maybe a little bit, but again, when you're getting booed in Florida, okay, you could argue WrestleMania is more of an international crowd, but the international crowd is booing you, where they're not going to give a fuck about the politics. It's just Hogan. Just people just don't like Hogan.
Yeah,
Especially
he needs to go away forever.
He's got a massive rap sheet, dude. The guy's got a track record of being a wanker for various things. He's been exposed by people like Jesse Ventura for being a union buster. That's not going to go down with blue-collar workers very well, who love wrestling and shit like that.
Exactly. Also, there is one thing I'll give Hogan praise with, even though two people involved are human garbage, is that him and Peter Thiel helped bring down the Gawker, which was great because the Gawker overstepped the mark, invading people's privacy just on the basis, basically they were just nosy cunts who wanted to know everything about a person's private life. That would include, trying to hack their phones and get their leaked videos and all this kind of shit, all on the basis that, oh, well, they're a celebrity and the world has a right to know, kind of thing. So they overstepped the mark, and I'm glad Hogan helped bring them down with Peter Thiel, because Peter Thiel, piece of shit.
Piece of
Uh,
shit.
but if you, as a gay conservative or as a gay person, don't want to out yourself as a gay person, nobody has a fucking right to come out, especially a publication, all right, and out you as a gay person. Like that they overstepped. That's when they overstepped the mark. That and with when they tried to hack Paris Hilton's phone to get videos and all this kind of stuff. That was just like no. So in that regard, I give them props for bringing down the Gawker because they're dog shit.
Also, the other thing I wanted to comment on is I never forgot what Hogan did to TNA. Like I stopped watching TNA because of what
Yeah,
Hogan
likewise.
did. Like I will never forgive him. And again, in hindsight, yes, about the 6-sided ring. But here's the thing: Hogan basically said to them, he's like, "What has the 6-sided ring ever done for you, brother?" Like and the whole pig pen comment and stuff like that. I'm like, just you don't need to go out there and slap the fans in the face. You know what I mean? Like he could have said, and people could have came out and said, look, the wrestlers they like wrestling in a 4-sided ring better than a 6-sided ring. We know you guys like it, but we have to also consider our performers. And
that would have been a lot better.
And but Hogan can't do that. Hogan is like this petulant child. That's why he gets along with Trump so much, that when people like boo him, he's got to retort with some nasty ass stupid comment.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, when he was and on Raw, famously, what happened earlier this week, he was trying to pull out the Andre the Giant card and the Macho Man card, and they were still booing him because they could see right through his bullshit. So
you know what though? I think they were booing Jimmy Hart. Let's be honest. It's not Hogan.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart, a piece of shit human being. Who had?
Huh? Sorry, go on. No, please continue.
Who waves the American flag on Netflix? I mean, come on.
A piece of crap.
What piece of crap? I mean, seriously.
Poor 81 Jimmy. Years old, by the way, but his birthday's on January the 1st.
Oh,
listen, I love Jimmy Hart. I don't think I've ever heard a negative thing about Jimmy Hart, as far as I know. I mean,
yeah, I feel sorry for him because
he's beloved by everyone. I love that man. Yeah. He was one of my favorite managers. Like, I got more happy seeing him on screen than I did when he come out with like the Natural Disasters or whoever he was representing. I was just like, I want to see what Jimmy Hart's going to do.
Brothers.
He was the proto Paul Heyman. Like he was.
Yeah, he was. I love him.
Like you want to put a tag team over, you put him with Jimmy Hart. That's that.
Yeah, God.
I was just impressed that he's 81 years old and he's waving his fucking flag around all the time. Honestly,
he's in great shape. I didn't even know he was 81. I thought he was like late 60s.
No, of course not. I mean, he's been around for 40. He's been, 40 years ago. He was.
Well, that's what I mean. I thought he would have been like, like started off in his like 20s, because you know what it was like in the 70s and 80s. You could be 25, but you look 40 already.
Like Earthquake.
like Earthquake, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't realize he was already that fucking old.
And I'm not going to show any more of this video block, but I think you guys get it.
Okay, that's good. I'll tell you what, you here.
I say so, but here's my thing about the block is that he's just a troll. Like honestly, I bet you he doesn't even believe half the shit he says in that video. He just does it.
I disagree.
You do? Okay.
I
think he's just a troll. I think he plays up the kayfabe. Like he's the block. He's the right winger of our group. Like I think he just plays it up, and I think he's just like that's why I said in the chat earlier he's like Chris Jericho. Like he just plays it up so that just so people you love to hate him, or something.
You guys
like that.
see between the lines, and I do feel like he thought that people were booing him over politics, and then like his rebuttal was, why aren't they booing other people if we in other industries? And I'm thinking to myself, well, they have, and they've held them accountable too, and they're not cheerleading these guys. they're shitting on them. So what the fuck are you talking about? And secondly,
Yeah,
how are you able to tell these things? Like you can't. When it comes to other industries, when you're complaining about the people booing Hogan, how are you able to tell that those same people are not criticizing other industries? You can't fucking tell that. But at the same time, do not understand why people were booing Hogan. Kind of shows you how naive he is. And I genuinely don't think he was trolling
I
on that.
think
He
he
might.
knows why people were booing Hogan. That's what I'm saying. I think he was trolling. I think he's seriously trolling.
probably. He probably was,
No,
but it was still a good
I
jumping off
talk to the
point for
block
us
a
to take
lot.
it
By
on
the way,
your arsehole.
I talk to the block a lot, and I do feel, and we talk to each other privately quite often, and I do feel that sometimes I think to myself, this guy's just turning a corner here, but then he does moments like this, and when he was proudly going on about being a libertarian all the time, going, oh, both sides are bad, the old both side bullshit, he'll be going about both sides are bad, and then he'll be making fun of the kid who survived one of those mass shootings for wanting gun control. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not being both sides here. You're actually being proper right wing by condemning this
Oh
kid.
my god,
Yeah.
he's trolling. I mean, I honest and truly, I don't know how we've known this guy for 15 years and you can't see through his
No,
trolling.
no, no. This was a long time ago, by the way. When I first was starting to know him, because it would be like a comment on Facebook or something like that. It wouldn't be an actual video, and we would discuss it. But I really do think sometimes you're giving him the benefit of the doubt by saying he's trolling. I know when he's trolling. When he's saying all that shit on contributors, I know he's fucking trolling. I get it. But that video, watch it in its entirety. Like he genuinely thinks he has a fucking point.
I
And it's just
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Okay.
I
On
have to
that
watch
note,
the whole video to figure that out.
yeah.
yeah.
If he
Let's
thinks he has
let's
a point, but everything
let's
I
move.
saw before that, I thought he was trolling. Go ahead, Ginge.
All right. Let's move on, but still within wrestling, because of course we had this come out. Now,
Oh
before we get
no.
started, Rick B asked that we apologize because of the tweet that Vince McMahon put out, which was a lie tweet, by the way. And Rick B, I've told you, you need to apologize to us for asking for us to apologize to you over what we said about Vince McMahon, because I know I'm confusing you a lot here now, but there's two things. Number one, this case is fuck all to do with the sexual assault case. And number two, he lost the case. So, kitten, Kinder Bueno, picture, saying sorry. You know what that means. Moving on. I'm just
Wait,
being
wait, wait.
pissed.
But about the did he lose it or settle? Because what does he mean
Settled.
reaches?
You settle, you lose the case. You've been found to have breached the rules, and this is it. So, a former WWE CEO agrees to penalty over undisclosed settlement agreements worth 10.5 million to two women.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was a settlement because it says reaches deal, so I didn't know if like that meant
That's
settlement
guilty.
or
Well,
That's
no, he's
guilty. As
been
far as
fined.
I'm no,
He
no, no.
agrees
But
to
as
pay
far as
the
I'm
penalty.
concerned, if he's innocent, he won't be paying out of court. He's guilty. But
well,
that's why
no,
he's
but
doing
okay,
this.
so I not that I believe that he's innocent. I do not believe Vince McMahon is innocent, but sometimes when you settle, it's a financial decision where it's like because sometimes the court costs would outweigh the settlement costs. And that's why some people settle, even though they're innocent. Again, I don't believe that Vince McMahon is innocent by any stretch of the imagination, but just because somebody settles does not mean that they are guilty.
Vince
Sure.
McMahon's a
But in this
billionaire. He
case,
can he can afford that. He can afford to go to court several times over.
in this case, the Securities and Exchange Commission, so no woke mob, no corrupt judge. This is the Security and Exchange Commission. These are the people that mean business in the sense that it's a bunch of rich people protecting other rich people. Okay? The Securities and Exchange Commission says it has settled charges against the former WWE blah 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 Vince McMahon over his failure to disclose to the sports entertainment company's board and others that he signed two settlement agreements worth 10.5 million with two women, one of those of course being Janelle Grant, in order for them not to reveal potential claims against him. Now, to be clear, again, just briefly with the Janelle Grant thing, is because he broke the terms of the agreement under the non-disclosure agreement. She is. That's why she was allowed to kind of reveal what Vince McMahon had done to her. Because when you're meant to pay, I think it was 3 million, didn't pay any of it, not a damn thing, or she only paid 1 million. And she's like, I want the fucking rest. You've bought my silence, and he's like, not going to do that. Obviously, I'm just making up a backstage scenario because Vince is notorious for screwing people over, like all rich people are. And as a result, that's why she was able to come forward. That's why the NDA was null and void. So anyway, so he resigned from the company in January 2024 after former employee filed a federal lawsuit accusing him and former executives of serious sexual misconduct. At the time, yeah, well, we don't need to go. Do we need to read the article? Not really.
Well, I just got responding to Brick B. Does he have a conviction? No, he's innocent. Many people settle for many reasons. Yeah, like being fucking guilty and wanting to end this bullshit, which is one of those many reasons.
And that's what I believe this was him settling because he's guilty, and if it went to court, it would have been a ton of money and bad publicity and bad
Yeah, it would have gone
exposure.
on forever. I think it was more for the length of it. He wanted to nip it in the bud, in my opinion. And on top
Yeah.
of that, if he is innocent, why the hell did TKO get rid of him? You know, like, why are they getting rid of him? He's innocent, isn't he? He's innocent. He should come. They should roll out the red fucking carpet for him, induct him into the Hall of Fame next year. If that's the
Listen,
fucking
you
case.
better knock on some wood, man, because I swear to God, if Vince McMahon now all of a sudden comes waltzing through the curtains at WrestleMania.
Well, I did
I can
actually
guarantee
say
you a lot
never
of
say
things,
never.
and I can guarantee you nothing. But the one thing I can guarantee is you're never going to see Vince McMahon coming back, and because the guy, the head of TKR Holdings, I forget the guy's name, fucking hates Vince McMahon. He hates him. He just wanted the WWE. He's a Nick Khan's friend. He's not Vince McMahon's friend. And Vince McMahon said a bunch of stuff once he sold the company, and then that person, what was his name? It's similar to Avi Arad, but it's not Avi Arad. Turned around and basically said, he basically turned around and denied everything that Vince was saying, and he took away more control from Vince, and slowly started chipping away at Vince's control of the company until they ousted him. So there is no chance. There is a lot of bad blood between the TKO executive and Vince McMahon. So I can guarantee you he's not going to fucking come out. I know you can say never, but
We always said Vince would never sell the WWE. So
yeah, but and he sold it to save his ass, thinking that he'll have more control over the product, and he can escape the bullshit that happened with the previous like shareholders and all this kind of shit. And lo and behold,
Oh
it
yeah,
turned
yeah, of course.
beautifully.
Look,
Remember?
yeah, we were blowing that money on fucking the fucked up shit he was doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not innocent. Like, no, he's not. He's not going to get a conviction here. But he's already paid these women off. Okay, he's paid these women off, and that's basically what's the word? Is it securities fraud or whatever it is? No, you're meant to. You're not. You can't use company funds to pay off basically women and buy their site. Ariel Emmanuel, thank you, Rick B. So whether people, a conviction doesn't whether you get convicted or not, it doesn't mean you're not guilty. It's the same with like fucking Kevin Spacey. You know what I mean? Just because he didn't get convicted, I mean, we're talking about the British courts here, and if a woman ain't going to get convicted for being sexually assaulted, no, even if a man's not going to be convicted for sexually assaulting or raping a woman, then I suspect that men getting sexually assaulted and raped aren't going to get justice either. So the British court system is a fucking joke in general. So yeah, that's with Vince. So he's had to fork out money, and there's still the Janelle Grant stuff to come. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
I'm sure I thought this was the Janelle Grant stuff.
No, this is nothing to do with Janelle Grant. No, this is completely separate.
Sorry.
This is to do with taking company money and paying off women.
Oh, it's embezzlement.
It's that you're not allowed to do that. Basically, you're only allowed to take your own personal money to shut women up. You can't use the company's money
You
to
could
shut women
still
up.
be found guilty from the Janelle Grant thing, which will probably take an eternity too. By the way.
Yeah, and it's not like oh fuck, is it civil court? So he's not going to go to jail or anything like that. He'll just basically get found guilty, and that'll be it. Because if you're rich, you don't go to jail. Which now again, I'm going to switch from because I have Mr. Cheeto here. Two quick things. We've done Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah, actually, by the way, while we're here with the WWE. WWE is unwatchable. Now, by the way, in a 3 hour show, you get 4 matches.
Yeah. I was so pissed watching that. That's the first time I've watched a Raw in its entirety in like 15 years.
Yeah, and it was like the match. Some of the matches were good, but the overall it was just boring, and it no different to like an anniversary show where they bring in a couple of old fucks and just do a stupid bit, and then that was it. But there was so many adverts. Like we didn't see the adverts, by the way. If you're watching it in the UK, there must be a significant time delay between us and the US because it did like a fade out and fade in saying welcome back, and it's just but no time has passed between our screens, or it would cut off to a vignette of like
Yeah, there was there
other
and
stuff.
there were ads for like WWE stuff and like all these other like you had commercials during matches still. I'm like, I thought one of the great things about Netflix would be we can watch a whole match. Like if you want to have like adverbs or like commercial breaks like for ads in between like matches or whatever, that's fine. We literally had ads in between like in the middle of matches. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the hell? Like what do they need a break? Like,
yeah. I mean, a lot of people were kind of happy thinking, oh, Netflix, 2 reasons, no ads, and it's a lot easier to access. But no, you apparently in the States, you lot got fucking loads of adverts, so nothing's really changed.
yeah, it was awful. I'm like there was between I think in every match, I know in the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan match, and I know there was one in the main event where there was just these commercial breaks right in the middle of the match, and I'm like, what the actual hell? Like, why do we have commercials?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
yeah, no,
really
you're
bad
right. It's
in
just
the States.
the WWE is selling their soul to all of these different and I get it. You got to make money. I understand that, but like it's never been this bad. And then and they whore the
But that's
company out
what
all the
Vince
time
was
before.
against. Yeah, Vince was against a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the only good thing because he knew it kind of it takes away from the product.
Mm-hmm.
But TKO don't give a fuck. They're just like, oh, we can milk this shit. But I think it's gonna come back to bite them in the ass because take away what happened on Raw. How many times have I said it in the contributors chat about the pay-per-views that there's like 20 to 30 minutes between each match and it's all fucking advert, vignette, advert, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? So within within a 4 hour or 5 hour show, you've got like again 4 matches, maybe 5 matches. People can shit on AEW all they want, but you get a pay-per-view, it's chock full of matches. You're gonna find some crackers there. Oh, there's something. It's so bad. It's just thoroughly entertaining. Like I'm always entertained with AEW, always, and I will say it because again, I'm a no sides person. I'm a wrestling fan. Anyone that's a wrestling fan is a wrestling fan. AEW and TNA are the better wrestling product. They've had a lot more fun matches, better booking, especially the women's division. Like
Do
WWE's
you guys
women's.
hear that? I think that's Rick B jizzing in his pants.
Oh,
Ginger talking.
come everywhere. But Rick B knows. Rick knows that I'm a no sides guy when it comes to wrestling. I'll shit on every wrestling, or I'll cheer on every wrestling. And at this point in time, wrestling's to the point where you know what. I'm just going to go and watch this particular match because I know this particular match is good because the story leading up to it is always almost crap. So there's all that, you know. Yeah, no, say what you want about AEW. They don't do stuff like that. They don't. They just match after match after match. So we give them.
I mean, that's like TNA was back in the day. They only had an hour-long show and you got 4 matches.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and they still told good stories back then.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
actually, Saturday night
Go ahead.
Saturday night main event was good because It was not pay per view. It's TV. It had commercial breaks, and it was for 2 hours, and they were able to fit 5 or 6 matches in those 2 hours, which was
Yeah,
pretty
main event
impressive.
was a lot better.
You know,
Yeah,
it swung by. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
but Raw is all about promos and build up and all of that. And when the Rock's on there, man, it's all about him, isn't it? You know,
Oh, and his
so
promo was awful.
And
anyway,
that's
I
what.
want.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
Go on, Sam.
I want to change gears. That's why I want to move on from
Oh,
wrestling.
that's why I feel bad for Gunther. It's I'm like the guy is
Yeah.
a fucking workhorse legend at this point, and he's in the crowd. You don't have your world heavyweight champion on the card of this big event. Tell
He's
me your
SmackDown,
titles don't
that's right.
matter, huh?
He's SmackDown.
Is he SmackDown now?
He's SmackDown.
Oh, so wait, Cody's Raw?
Yeah,
then?
but they could
Huh?
do all this shit, can't they?
No,
They can
the
still-
world title is on Raw, and then the WWE title is on SmackDown.
No, but they did this transfer windows thing.
No,
Yeah, but I don't think the titles went to different shows. I don't think.
no. Cody's the undisputed champion. That's the Raw champion.
No, it's been no. I thought. Okay, hold on. I'll double check. I want to make sure I'm
Double
right.
check.
Yeah, but all that shit doesn't mean fuck all. They're on each other's shows all the time, regardless.
You're right, but still,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
technically your world. Okay, so let's just say for the sake of argument that your world heavyweight, because Cody's always on SmackDown and fighting the Bloodline and everything like that, unless he
man.
transferred. But like the Bloodline technically is on SmackDown too, from what I understand, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So
There you go. I'll agree with you. Yeah, Rock was annoying and not funny at all. I agree. Undertaker cameo was pointless.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that was a great spot with Rhea Ripley. I thought that they granted the Undertaker was absolutely phoning it in, but I think that was a great moment for Rhea Ripley in my opinion.
Yeah, it's good for Rhea, but it was pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zam, what do you want to switch to just quickly?
very quickly. Andrew Tate, baby.
Oh God.
Okay, before we do that, sorry, Zam, because then we can go back into that stuff. I just got one more thing on TV, so I want to gauge your guys' opinion on this. So obviously,
Okay.
let me just, sorry, 1 second. Let me put that here. So obviously we had the tragic passing of Ray Stevenson, who gave us one of his.
Yeah, I posted this on Nerd Nation. The actor who's replacing him, Rory something.
Yeah, so I've got it here.
The Hound.
So,
The Hound from Game of Thrones.
So Rory McGann is going to be replacing the late Ray Stevenson for Ahsoka season 2. Now, look, say what you want about Ahsoka, it was crap and boring, but Ray Stevenson was by far the best thing in it, and frankly, it was one of his best performances, and it was a much more subdued performance. But what are your guys' thoughts on Rory McGann replacing him?
I didn't see. It wasn't on my list of people. I mean, because I just didn't even consider thinking of him. He wasn't in my thoughts. But now that he's been picked, a good choice. I think he's a tall guy. I mean, I've like I said, I've met Ray Stevenson. I've had him in my cab on 2 occasions. He's a big fucking guy, and you need a big fucking guy who can act at the same time to replace him if that's the case. And Rory McGann is definitely that person.
Yeah.
Just
Cheeto?
I don't have anything to talk about that guy. I don't know him. I never watched, whatever
Good actor.
Game of Thrones or anything. But
Okay.
so he's got big shoes to fill. And I loved Ray Stevenson in Ahsoka, and I actually liked Ahsoka. Like I thought it was a very good way to kind of gradually work in the extended canon of Star Wars. The way that it should have been. I think this is the route they should have gone. With the sequels, like not bullshit Force Awakens and all that other stuff. So
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
So, but yeah, the tragic loss of Ray Stevens. But I'm hoping that a lot of people seem positive about this. So I'm hoping that this guy will just do Ray Stevenson justice. Which I mean, I love
Rory
Ray
McGrath he's a solid
McGann.
actor.
And by the way,
has a great presence and is very, like he's not loud.
he could be stoic.
He's just very stoic.
And being on Game of Thrones, he played a swordsman for many years, so hopefully he can retain that skills with a lightsaber. And there are people complaining, saying that he doesn't look like Ray Stevenson. Well, fuck no. Of course he doesn't look like Ray Stevenson, but he's got enough about him to be a decent enough replacement.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
we all know, like, it's not like they're just recasting to recast. Like, something tragic happened. I don't mind them recasting. It's kind of like Chadwick Boseman. I was very surprised that they didn't recast him. I thought that it made for a very interesting second Black Panther movie, but like, I was very surprised. So, because something tragic like this happens, like, eventually business needs to continue. You know what I mean? So, I don't blame them for recasting this character because it's not like this character had like a send off in the show. It's not like the character died at the end of the
yeah, the
show.
continuation. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Continuation.
I mean, but they also need to like take care and like be like, look, we're going to honor Ray Stevenson's character that he played. We're going to continue this character and we're going to try to, do it justice. So,
Yeah.
there's a respect about it.
Yeah.
And just so
Nothing
you
else to
know,
say.
Gunther is Raw, and so is Rhea Ripley. So the world heavyweight title's on
Oh,
Raw.
okay. My
So that's what I'm
apologies.
saying. But like, yeah, like you don't even have your world heavyweight champion on Raw besides a crowd thing. And I'm like, the tag champions, another crowd,
I think they kind of lost with Gunter. I think because I think they want to turn him face. For a start, it looks like that way, but he's getting a lot of respect. I'm a bit hit and miss with Gunter because I don't think every match he's had has been a banger. He's a bit like William Regal, where he can have epic matches if he's got the right person to work with who will make his abilities shine. If you know what I mean, there's people Gunter has performed with that haven't been that great, and the times where he looks epic. So it all depends.
Yeah.
Well, he made Sheamus entertaining, and I think Sheamus is one of the most boring wrestlers out there. So
I kind of hope for at WrestleMania because John Cena came back. Speaking of Raw, John Cena came back and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble." Like honestly, like not that I want Cena to win the Royal Rumble, but I don't want him to go against Cody Rhodes. But I think it would be a good match for Gunther versus Cena at Mania. For
No,
the world title.
I think no. I think what it is with Sheamus is that the only accolade he's missing is the IC title. He's won every belt apart from that, and they've made a big deal about that recently. So I think at WrestleMania he'll win the Intercontinental Championship, whoever that may be from.
what's that got to do with Cena?
No, regardless, I don't give a fuck about Cena. Just talk about Sheamus.
Okay, well, you just switched from
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not even talking about Shea. I'm talking about Cena and Gunther. Quit
Sorry, I meant about
masturbating with your birds and just.
Yeah, but you both have a point. You both have a point. That's the main thing. Because yeah, I mean, you're right, Zam. They are making a big deal about Sheamus, so it'll be a good send off for him. I don't think he's got long left in his career before he goes. I mean, what is he like? Mid-40s now.
Yeah, he's gonna be a backstage guy and stuff like that. I would like to see him maybe on commentary as well. Like I'm sure you could do that too. So.
Color commentator. Fuck yeah, he's got the gift of the gab. He'll be great.
Yeah,
I think he could take. I think he could take Wade Barrett's place because I think they're talking about Wade Barrett coming back to wrestle. So wouldn't it be funny if like they just kind of swapped those two?
Well, and the thing, I want Hill Barrett. This Barrett we've got is neutered. I don't like this. I don't like commentator Barrett. I miss Wade Barrett, like Bad News Barrett kind of thing.
I do. I loved Wade Barrett. I was so upset with the way they treated him back in the 2010s.
That was awful.
It was. I'm like, you son of a bitches. Like you have it right there in front of you, and you just
could have been one of the best Hill champions ever.
No, but Vince McMahon as well. Like once the Bad News thing was becoming really popular, he wanted to turn face, and Vince McMahon wouldn't let him do that. Wanted him to remain heel.
Look, I love him being heel. I thought he was a great heel.
Yeah.
No doubt, but it's a bit like a Stone Cold anti-hero type of face, where that's the sort of direction he wanted to go down, where people appreciate him for being a badass, and when they're all like when you're a heel and people are quoting your catchphrases, that it means you're quite popular, aren't you? So
yeah. But the thing is, Vince was never going to put the title on an Englishman. It just was never going to happen. Not as a fucking, not as a bloody Irishman. He was just never going to do it at all.
Well,
and if anything, he would have given him the world heavyweight title, like because he never considered that his title. That was always the WCW title, was the world title.
Well, I'll take the British with Drew McIntyre because he won.
Drew McIntyre's Scottish, so he had no problem putting.
And on top of that, Vince was always.
I know, but I know he's Scottish, but I'll take the British because it's Drew McIntyre because he won, and if he lost, he's Scottish, but he won, so he's
Yeah,
British.
fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
He was British when he had the title, and then when he lost it, thanks to CM Punk, it became Scottish. That's it.
yep.
No arguments, otherwise everyone will get blocked and banned. That's it. Foot down.
That's
All right.
another
All
guy
right.
that just
Andrew Tate
okay,
time,
anyway.
baby.
Yeah, Andrew Tate, mate. That's everything I wanted to cover for TV.
All right. Well, sorry, let me find the clip because I thought it was on TikTok, but it's actually on YouTube. Let me just.
Let me just whip this out.
Okay, so Andrew Tate has realized maybe. Oh, come on. Sorry, this goddamn fucking thing. All right, Andrew Tate has realized that he could be out of jail if he does what Trump does and become the leader of a country. So Andrew Tate wants to be the prime minister of the United Kingdom. I'm not fucking joking. He's got a party called the Bruv Party. The Bruv Party. And here we go. Unfortunately, this is the only clip I could find. And it's on Russell Brand's channel, but it is what it is.
It's absolutely disgusting what has happened to that country.
The world's gone crazy.
Oh, hold on.
Farage is
No.
No.
Sorry,
It is our intention to become political figures inside of the United Kingdom, and I will be aiming to be prime minister to fix the mess. London should be the greatest city in the world. Great Britain was once the greatest place anyone could possibly live. We had a strong and proud people, and the generational failure that the constituents of the UK have been forced to endure is legendarily terrible.
Chris Pavlovsky, CEO of Rumble.
Wait. Is Andrew Tate? He's not British.
I know he's American and he moved to England. But then again, the loophole he will use is that Boris Johnson was also born. People don't realize this, even though he sounds as British as roast beef, he was born in New York.
Really? I did not know.
Yeah. And even someone like John McCain, when he was running for president, he was born in Panama. Ted Cruz was running for president. He's Canadian. So sometimes these things can be overlooked. But regardless, Prime Minister Andrew Tate, yes, it's obvious that he thinks that if he runs for prime minister, then all the accusations that he's got against him will just fall to the wayside because he's he's the leader of a country, and this is the funny thing because he's going on. Like because of Elon Musk and the grooming gang thing.
Just quickly, do we need this on the screen?
No, I'm getting rid of it.
Okay, yeah, get rid of that and then just crack on.
Because of Elon Musk and the grooming gang thing, he's also jumping on that bandwagon, even though he himself is a fucking Muslim who's been accused for fucking sex trafficking and shit like that. So you're the very fucking thing you're having a go at, Andrew Tate, you fucking dickhead. But regardless, him being prime minister, it ain't gonna fucking happen. His stock is falling big time. Nobody talks about him as much as they used to. This was like the most significant thing he's done in a long, long time to say that he's running for prime minister. But he's stuck in his house in fucking Romania. He can't do fucking shit. This court date better come fucking soon so they can fucking finally throw him behind bars and throw away the key. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I don't think he's ever going to go to prison. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Damn.
Because there's a lot of shit going on in Romania and the witnesses are crumbling and all this kind of stuff. And I just think he's going to get away with it.
It's taking too long.
Which is just sad for the women more than anything. You know what I mean? It's just, again, no justice for them. But
he has incriminated himself, by the way.
This is just Tate just fucking trolling. The one thing you need to understand with Tate, if he wasn't a misogynistic, sex trafficking, rapist piece of shit, he'd be a thoroughly entertaining troll to watch because he's genuinely funny as well. But sadly, he has all the unforgiving stuff about him, and this is him just trolling. Or it would be a good way to kind of scam his followers into like funding his party and all this kind of stupid shit. But in order to do that, look, this isn't America. And a lot of British people piss me off because they think that our politics is the same as American. You can't just be like, I'm going to run for prime minister. No, you have to have a party. You have to be nominated as a leader of that party. Then that party has to win a fucking shitload of seats for your party to win. And then if your party wins and you're the head of that party, you become the prime minister. Okay. Uh, but they don't think like that. They say, I'm just going to run for prime minister. It's like, okay, good luck with that. You know, you need the backing of billionaires to become successful over here in the UK. Otherwise, you're not going to get a foot in. Let's face it. We've got 10 left wing MPs and they're all being silenced by the fucking media. And yet, every other day, Farage is on LBC, is on Question Time, is on fucking BBC this and GB News that all the fucking time. And it's working effectively because Reform's popularity has bloody skyrocketed. And people are favouring him now above anyone else to be the next prime minister. It's just like,
Which is scary, but they've already forgotten about how you fucked this country up with Brexit.
yeah,
But regardless, he has got one massive thorn in his side because he's sticking to his guns on Tommy Robinson not joining the Reform Party because of Robinson being a convict, and there's enough fucking convicts in the Reform Party as it is. So he's saying no to him, and Elon Musk has been saying that they need to the Reform Party needs to get rid of Farage because of him not endorsing Tommy Robinson. And I've seen Farage now respond to what Elon Musk has said, and he's basically sticking to his guns, but he's so at the same time being as polite about it as fucking possible regarding Elon Musk. Being really nice to him, not
see,
fighting back, but being
no.
an ass kisser.
And the irony is Farage's stock would rise tenfold if he turned around and said to Elon Musk, "Go fuck yourself." But he such a cuck. He doesn't want to upset the billionaire class, and he doesn't want to upset Trump because that will help him rise to power even more. But if he told Musk to go fuck himself, outside of what they tried to do, his stock will just skyrocket. But I'm interested to see if he does tell Musk to go fuck himself. Will the British media now be like, okay, we're going to help the billionaire class. We'll help bury Farage, get rid of him, discredit him, make him change leader. That's what I'm interested in because that's where you can see the system in place, how it picks and chooses who it wants to lead. Because you can never ever tell me that Starmer is in any way better than Corbyn because he's not. He's lost more by-elections than any other Labour leader. He's had more defections than any other Labour leader, and he got way less votes than Corbyn. It's just that the Tories were so deeply unpopular that we ended up with Starmer. So, but the media
Silver platter, baby.
handcrafted. They wanted their little Israeli bitch boy and their little billionaire bitch boy, and that's who we get, and that's who we're always going to fucking get, unless we Luigi Mangione the people in charge. And until you do that, you're just gonna stuck in this perpetual cycle, and it's not gonna get fucking better. It's as simple as that.
And by the way,
London is
Musk is
handling the
also
Tommy Robinson issue very badly. Well,
listen.
sorry, go
No,
on,
no,
go on.
I need to respond to him. Listen, Rippy, sometimes you really got to look at your own fucking skin color, mate. As much as you want to pander these motherfuckers by being their fucking token pick me, they hate you. They fucking hate you. They just need your fucking vote, and you decide for them to give them some credibility. But you've already seen what's happened with some of the pick me's in America. Now they're no longer needed by MAGA. They're disposing of them. Like Patrick Bet David, he's being ripped apart on his show by being called a fucking an Iranian now, but they no longer need him. And there's a couple of others as well who that Latin American woman who's also being now handed their ass by MAGA because they don't need her anymore either. Once they no longer need you, Rick B, they'll dispose of you. So you can kiss their ass as much as you want, but you're only a fucking tool. That's it.
And the thing is as well, you've got to look at how they respond once they don't need you, because those same people that will throw all the vitriol to the left, who are just trying to point out what's going to happen to them if the bad guys they like get in power, they'll still throw all the vitriol to the left, and the people calling them all the racist shit and telling them you're not part of us, they're still kissing their ass and trying to be nice and say, look, hey, come on, I'm not like those other guys, because they are coward, spineless, immoral, and apolitical. Not apolitical, but they have no real stance. They just want to kiss the ass of those in power that are leaning towards their politics. It's not. They don't have no principles. They have no principles. If you start and turn around racially abusing me, even if you were on the right wing side, I'm still going to tell you to go fuck yourself and eat shit and die. But no, they all cower and they kiss that ass because they're
Listen, you
spineless weasels.
fucking
And these are
ginger
the people,
cuck.
right? Yeah, fuck you, Yankee. And these are the people that you lot look up to. These spineless weasels. Just
And on top of my melanin level isn't my defining characteristic. Not to
it
me,
is for
not to
them.
anyone, but not to anyone in this panel. But it is for them. That's what you fucking fail to understand. It is for those people that you side with. It doesn't
You're
matter how much. Look at what's happening to Vivek Ramaswamy right now. I mean, and the H-1B visa thing that happening in the States. All like all the white supremacist section of MAGA are turning are rolling over. I'm about to say turning in their graves, but they're not there yet. But they soon will be the way they're fucking going. But they're all going mad because Trump ran and I think this is a good time to move on to Trump. Trump ran a campaign on fucking immigrants out, and he's bringing immigrants in from fucking India, to help run Elon Musk's company. And then obviously you got Vivek Ramaswamy now, who's getting a whole lot of fucking hate from the MAGA guys, for being of Indian descent. I remember Ann Coulter famously said that she wouldn't vote for him because he's an Indian. He's not a fucking Indian. He's an American. He's of Indian descent. But it doesn't matter because his skin color is his fucking, what do you say? Is his defining characteristic to people like that. And you fail to fucking see that, Rick B. He's so fucking blind. And you can turn your nose up at us and regarding what we're saying, but it's fucking true. And
well,
then
let's put it this way, okay? We understand cops have
oh god,
fascistic.
he's so fucking deluded.
No, we're not the ones obsessed with the skin. Rick, we're not the ones that are going to drag you out of a taxi cab in a riot and beat the shit out of you. We're not the ones that are going to do that. Unless you're a billionaire, in which case, maybe. But we're not going to be, because we see a brown guy in a cab, we're going to drag you out. Because that's what happened during the race riots. They were literally policing the streets, stopping cab drivers, pulling them out, beating them up because they were brown. So but you know what? We're not going to have a back and forth. You think what you want to think. When the day comes,
Yeah.
if you and I are standing in the streets, who are they going to punch? Because I've been in that situation before, and guess what? I've never been randomly punched in the face like my friends have been punched in the face for being black or brown, and that's happened right there next to us. Oh, and another thing, with the cops, when my friends were getting pulled over all the time, I was in the car, they were all black. Who were they searching? They never once searched me. Why? Because I was a nerdy ginger kid with the glasses, and they thought, he's fucking harmless. He's probably just hanging around them just for street cred. But they were fucking, they were only like one strip search away from fucking giving them full anal penetration every bloody time. It's like, so I'm going to be perfectly fine. You are not. Let's be clear. They'll put you on the
Rigby,
first fucking train
I,
back to India.
when I was coming to America and when I was leaving Italy, there was a white person with me. They were both there. They weren't the same white guy. One of them was my best mate. One of them was a friend of is a friend of mine who I no longer know anymore. But regardless, I got checked. I got interrogated when I came into America. They let my white friend through, and when we were leaving America, me and my Hindu friend and my white friend, me and my Hindu friend, the Hindu, not a fucking Muslim, but he's brown, so that's Muslim enough. We got interrogated leaving the fucking country, and my white friend who's with us, his name was Rob. They didn't fucking check on him. So it is about skin color with the right. And on Rickby, during those race riots, if they saw your ass, they would have fucking kicked those people you side with. They would have kicked the living shit out of you. Absolutely. If you were in one of those fucking cars in fucking Middlesbrough, wherever the fuck that shit, it was Middlesbrough, I believe, when they were
Was it
checking.
Middlesbrough? I think it was Hull.
Wherever it was, if you were there in that car, Rick B, you think, yeah, look, I support Tommy Robinson. You think they're gonna give a shit? They're gonna kick your ass, mate.
Yeah.
And yeah, and by the way, Rusty River, no, not leaving Elon Musk out. He was obviously he's the one who was leading the charge of the H-1B visa. But as I said, as I'm transitioning into Trump now, it is really crazy because I don't think once when Trump was campaigning to be president that he said he wanted to take over Greenland, annex Canada, and and regain the Panama Canal. Was that in his fucking? Was that in the campaign? Because I don't remember it being in the campaign. But all of a sudden, the price of eggs and butter is no longer an issue, because people don't want to fucking talk about that anymore. Now it's all about him, bringing imperialism to the world with America, and taking over countries that don't want to be annexed.
Listen,
like
don't be mad just because the Gulf of America sounds better than the Gulf of Mexico, okay? Don't be mad.
Mate, I'll
thing.
drive my Golf into your ass if you carry on.
It's a wonderful thing. It sounds beautiful. Like
Tremendous.
are these things that are really going to happen, or do you think he's just trolling?
He's distracting. He's distracting this way, so we're not looking this way.
Yeah, he's distracting people because prices aren't going to go down under him, and the whole H1B thing. So it's like, quick imperialism, quick invade Panama, and look, the Panama thing is a serious thing because in imperialist America, the Chinese are now heavily invested in South America, so the Americans need a by proxy way of taking over those countries to kind of block China. So that's the thing. With Greenland, it's probably oil up there, and that's why they want Greenland because it's not really fucking. I don't know what other reason.
There's other minerals out there.
Yeah,
So
there's minerals and all of that. So it's all. Always ask yourself when the Americans want something, why do they want it? Because it's never for freedom. It's always for minerals.
Scarlett Johansson.
She's got a lovely pair of minerals. Just saying. Now, so always suspect what are the neocons, the war hawks behind the scenes. Why do they want it?
Because we invaded Iraq, for freedom, and they wanted us there.
Yeah. Liberate the people of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Liberation. We bring them freedom whether they like it or not. Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, bring them the freedoms.
The annex of Canada, like this thing with Canada, though, like he won't let it go, and this is like what's so disgusting. But I know we'll talk about this a little bit later. But when the right wing were talking about the fires that's happening in LA, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Gavin Newsom's a disgrace because he had Governor Trudeau help him with the fires instead of asking American companies. Just a little Governor Trudeau of the state of Canada, he said in a tweet, like why are you saying that? Like it's ridiculous,
And the thing is, if somebody said that about her, she'd have a fucking meltdown, go on every TV channel, play the victim. Oh, the left are so hateful. Oh, the left are so vitriolic. But she's sitting there literally demeaning the prime minister of a country that militarily could probably kick America's ass because you don't fuck with Canada. Canadians are
we already won the last war that you guys had. And on top,
they're feral.
No, but
they're feral. Canadians are feral.
They're very feral, the Canadians.
Oh god, I've lost my fucking train of thought.
Good. American distraction works again.
No, but before I go into the fires,
no, we're not going onto the fires yet. The fires,
yeah.
Are the fires. I've got other things I want to talk about.
Yeah. Like I said, the annexing of Canada, like how do Canadians feel? Like how do people from Greenland feel? Because I know people think that this is just a joke, but Trump and Charlie Kirk, of all people, Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk, they went to Greenland recently and they paid some people to be supporters, which they've done before, by the way. Giving America MAGA hats and shit like that.
Wait, you mean that the left are not the only ones who pay people to be in their crowds and support?
I know, shocking.
Yeah, I know.
Bring them in by the busloads.
Yeah, bringing them in by the busloads. Yeah, it's just it's look, it's ridiculous. But the thing is, don't forget, Sam, when Trump won, and we did our stream. What were the people saying in the comments? This is the anti-war president. He never started any wars. He never he bombed the shit out of a lot of countries that America already had established wars with. But we forget all of that, especially the mother of all bombs. All right. But where are these people now coming into Are they coming into our comments to say, "Oh, sorry, Daddy, we were wrong. He is actually the imperialist candidate, and he is a war hawk, and he's infested his cabinet full of neocons who love war." Where are those people?
It's weird. It's weird in
Oh,
a way because the influencers, they're going to go whatever direction. There was a really cool um a clip of Ian Miles Chong, who's a Twitter guy on Twitter who was
yeah, I know
very
him.
much pro Farage, and then the moment Elon Musk was anti Farage, he started being anti Farage.
Yeah,
You know, and they showed the tweet side by side. But
just
if you're an
unprincipled.
influencer,
They
if you're
have
an
no
influencer, what?
principles.
No, but
They
if you're
go
an
where the
influencer,
power is.
or whatever, if you're an influencer, whatever Trump says, you go with. But there are actual MAGA guys who are not into wanting war. You know, like I mean, the cult is so hardcore that some of them will just follow whatever happens. But there are some people who are being a bit disillusioned now, and they're thinking, "Shit, this is not what I fucking voted for. I didn't want to fucking start a fight with Canada and fucking Greenland, you know, and all of this shit. I just want my fucking eggs to go down in price and fuel to be more affordable."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
But
here's the thing. This is what proves the point is that everyone says, "Oh, you know that this is he can't bring the price of eggs down." No shit, because they blame Biden for bringing up all the inflation, and it's like, no, that's not his fault. It's capitalism's fault. Just like Trump can't bring the prices down. If anyone had two brain cells who voted for this guy, they would have known that he could not have fixed this problem. It,
yeah,
like
but the thing is as well. By the way, the thing is as well. If by some miracle you get another election and Trump gets and the Republicans get voted out and the Democrats come back in with another milquetoast neoliberal candidate, and prices stay the same, or even if they dip a little bit, but prices stay the same or go up a little bit, they're going to blame the Democrats for it. Meanwhile, they're going to ignore the fact that, well, Trump didn't bring your prices down, so why wasn't it Trump's fault that your prices didn't go down? And this is the stupid fucking idiotic short memory games that the right play all the time. They completely forget, like the whole scandal at the moment with the grooming gangs here in the UK. Okay, it's every fucking right winger is quick to blame Starmer for everything, but completely absorb and forget what the Tories did or didn't do, which is the most important thing when all this was going on. They think, oh, because Starmer was head of the Crown Prosecution Service, he was in the role for only 9 months, and the guy that handled the northwest section of that was the one that made the recommendations not to go after the grooming gangs. A guy named Aziz, by the way. So and they rectified that, and Starmer even mentioned that, and they rectified it, and they went after the gangs. And then there was a big fucking 7 year long inquest. And then there was 20 recommendations that in front of the media, the Tories like, yep, we've heard the recommendations. Great, we'll look into that. And they did nothing. They had 2.5 years and they did nothing with those recommendations. And now, I know I've gone off on a tangent, but don't worry. It makes sense because of, again, how the right wing mentality works. So these incidents happened in 2008. And by the time it all came to light, it was in 2011. For the rest of us, basically. I know this because I believe at the time even Coughlin was the one that went and served Tommy Robinson his papers for almost bringing the case into disrepute. Back at the time, because I remember that video very very clearly. Now, in that time, the Tories did nothing, and things have gotten exponentially worse for women uh, and children in the country. Starmer's been in charge for 6 7 months. He's put forward a child protection bill, which is a really good bill. Okay. And the Tories, the right wing so I'll explain this to you very, very brief. So the Tories wanted some amendments to the bill to include an inquiry into the larger grooming gangs in the country. Now, they don't actually care about an inquiry into the grooming gangs. They don't care. What they do is when you get certain amendments to a bill and then it goes for a second or third reading, you effectively kill the bill. And that's the Tory playbook. That's the right wing playbook through history. Somebody comes up with a bill that's very progressive and helpful. The right don't like it because they can't then weaponize it against them. So if they had been successful in killing the bill, they then would have turned around and said, "Oh, look, Starmer doesn't care about investigating grooming gangs. It doesn't care about children." was like, well, hang on, he got through a policy. By the way, the policy's going through now because the Tories failed to kill the bill. He's put in a good policy to protect children, and you killed that bill, and now you're using that again, trying to use that against him. You see, understand the politics they play. They will kill progressive bills and then weaponize it to say, "Oh, they failed miserably to protect said this and that." And that's a right wing playbook. That's they do that throughout the whole fucking history. Trump with a wall, another prime example. Instead of getting funding for the wall, he killed the bill. They didn't get the funding to do whatever it was for the wall, and so he knew that he could politicize it further. So see how it brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, right wingers they do. They say, oh, I have to run on immigration, so I have to kill the bill. You know that happened with Biden. Biden was putting out legislation for border control, like, and the Republicans kept on killing it because, well, Trump's got to run on border.
They did.
Yeah,
They did. Yeah, they killed everything they did, and the fucking Democrats are so stupid because they keep fucking kowtowing to what the Republicans want, but the Republicans are never gonna do what they want by having the Democrats offer it. They will want to be in charge and then have the Democrats, give in to their demand. That's how they prefer it, and that's what's gonna happen now.
I guarantee you, they're not going to do mass deportations. They're going to distract Americans with other wars. They're going to distract Americans with other things. And then they're still going to find a way to manipulate their own cult into immigrants this, immigrants bad, immigrants scare the immigrants, whilst doing absolutely nothing about it. Because if you actually take care of the immigration problem, the right wing loses their biggest offensive playbook against opposition. It's their biggest one, even though they are historically the ones that have always let in mass migration into the country. Okay, they do it because it cheapens labor. They get cheaper labor for it, and they erode your rights as a worker. That's why they do it. And then through their own policy, they weaponize that to say, "Oh look, Johnny Foreigner bad, not me." And that's why I keep arguing to people. The left are not necessarily just open borders. You get a contingent of them, but they also understand you can't just have fucking millions of people flood into a country because it does affect everything. We are for tighter border control. We're more opening, obviously, to refugees and asylum seekers, but we're not just going to get any Tom, Dick, and Harry fucking come in. That's going to affect the workforce here. You can't run a fair society that way because there's always going to be people there to exploit it. And so I guarantee you, Trump's not going to do anything about immigrants here. Or he might do a couple of gestures here and there, but it's not really going to stop.
What he's going to do? He's going to do what he did back in his first run, where he's not going to be getting rid of immigrants. He's just going to be caging people who are coming into the country, like he did the first time round, separating the families and making their lives hell and treating them like shit because they get off on that. But they're evil personified, these motherfuckers.
Oh, and actually, that is a great point because I forgot to say that they are building essentially concentration camps now. So the private
Texas,
prisons are going to benefit through mass migration because they're going to be imprisoning them and get lots of kickbacks from the government, and they're creating mass concentration camps. I completely forgot about that. That's what they're building. So that's more likely what they're going to do rather than deport. Just put people in prison.
His inauguration's in 10 days. I'm sure other shit will be coming up, but whether he is trolling, whether he does what he does or what he doesn't, he's got the whole fucking world
in his hands.
Panicking to a degree, like the EU, because Greenland is so crazy. The country is pretty much neighboring Canada, but it's part of Europe, and
but the best
and and it's if Trump decides to attack Greenland, if let's say for argument's sake he does do that, then the EU will have no choice but to defend Greenland, and what, they're gonna have a war? You're gonna have a war with Europe? Like, what the fuck?
Well, the thing is, look, America's 248 years old. All right, 249 is going to be this year, and an empire's cycle is 250.
I've heard that, but I do think it'll stretch out a little bit longer than 250.
Oh, for sure, because it's not about military might. it's that they control the monetary means around the world. This is why they're able to say sanction the ICC, which they've done this very week. So I'll quickly go into that. They've sanctioned the ICC because the ICC has seen all the evidence that and said that Israel's committed a genocide, and therefore Netanyahu and the other guys should be arrested. And of course, you know, the Zionists and the Americans are throwing a tantrum, so they're going to sanction the ICC. And they do this with countries as well. This is how the IMF operates. If a country's not doing what you want them to do, you cripple them financially. And that's why the American empire is not going anywhere. So, well, we call it an American empire. It's not really an American empire. It's a banking empire. That's what it is. It's what the
It's
rich
a
people.
giant corporation.
It's giant corporations. It's your fucking South African guy who's, you know, tugging all the strings and all that. So it's whoever's at the top with all the money controlling everything. So
Yeah, that reminds me, like, you know, look, first, like these fucking right wing cunts, Rick B, like yourself, you can't ever go on about people like George Soros anymore. For a start, George Soros was just a boogeyman to you fuckers. He did fuck all for the left. He's a billionaire, you know. Maybe certain racial issues he might have aligned himself with, and social issues, but when it came to economical issues, he was no different to other right wingers. Whilst there you have Elon Musk, who's actually buying votes. He's telling people if you vote for Republican, you'll give $1 million as some sort of fucking prize. You know, he's doing
yeah,
all of that fucking shit. He's now being joked around, and people are saying that he's the, you know, de facto president of the United States. He's having, you know, he's involved in meetings and conversations with people like Benjamin Netanyahu. Why the fuck is this man who's not involved? Who's got no political
I mean, you're
position,
not allowed. Like you,
you know, involved in these conversations, or because he's rich? You know, why? Somebody mentioned this really good fact. Just because this guy donates to you doesn't mean that he has a right to be there. Somebody who might earn $35,000 a year, who donates only $5 of his salary every month to you, has as much right to be involved in the conversation as a fucking billionaire, because they're also donating to your campaign. Obviously, not as much, but still, they are vigorously donating, and they give a shit. So why
can
the
you
fuck
see
are they
me?
not? No, you're both off screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna close my browser and I'm gonna come back. 1 second.
Yeah, who would you like to be the world's biggest superpower? Well, it depends on who's in charge, and at this moment in time, not America, because in 10 days, the worst man possible, a fucking convicted felon, by the way, regardless of him not getting any jail time, he's still a fucking felon. He's also a convicted rapist, you know, fraudster, for what he did with things like Trump University and shit like that. What's evilest men on the planet is going to be the fucking most powerfulest man on the planet. And considering he's already talking about invading other countries, no, I don't want it to be America. Why should we need a powerhouse of a country? Why can't we all fucking be equal? Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no need
Because
for
we're
a
not.
world
Because we're
bigger.
America.
yeah. I mean, just on this comment here, not the most family separations, but he caged a lot of like Obama's not saying.
No,
He,
no,
he
no,
was
no, you got it wrong. Obama was the deporter in chief. That's what he did. He did a lot of deportations. That's what they called him. He wasn't the
yeah, he
one
caged and
caging
deported
them.
immigrants. He didn't just keep them in cages for long periods of time. But Trump
He
was the
got
one
rid of
that did
them.
family separations
Yep.
or ramped it up at least. Again, like we're not excusing like fucking uh, Obama and all them. They're still right wingers. Like they're still fucking idiots, and they always kowtow to the right because they are the same, protecting
I, I,
capital.
I don't know if Trump wants to annex Panama or he just wants the Panama Canal, but Canada and Greenland both have universal health
What's
care,
going on?
and there's no fucking way. I was reading some comments on some right wing sites like Breitbart, and they're calling Canada's healthcare commie healthcare and shit like that.
And
Have you
no
ever done
American's
anything
gonna look
wrong?
at me like, oh yeah,
Of
oh,
course I
call me
have, dude.
healthcare. Wait, here's £1,000 a month to my health insurance company that's just gonna call the doctor and deny them while I'm in fucking surgery,
Have I
which
done
happened
anything
this week.
wrong? I'll tell you what I've done wrong. I chose fucking you over Shredder.
Damn.
Damn, damn.
That's some.
Yeah,
That's pretty
My
hefty little
computer is fucking playing.
shit.
Whoa. Well, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
minded, but one guy called us Nazis and the other guy didn't, so you know.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That was a low blow on my part, Rick.
Yeah. That's all right. It's acceptable low blow.
Yeah, it's acceptable. This is no disqualification, so
Yeah. No, fuck. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Just on this one here with the, you know, who would you? No, there should be no superpowers. They shouldn't exist today. Like the militaries don't need to exist. Like
Denver,
war is only ever
Colorado should be the superpower.
Yeah, there you go. Denver, Colorado, or just London should be the superpower. But there shouldn't be any superpowers. And when America's superpower ends,
Ghana.
China's will
Give
rise,
it-
and then we'll go through
give
the
it-
same shit with China. And then after that,
Give
you
it
know.
to Ghana, man. That fucking jollof rice is just.
That's it.
Mwah. I have some of that
you can say
fucking.
that in front of the Nigerians, mate. That'll fucking end you.
Yeah, fuck 'em, man. I don't care, man.
Yeah.
Ghanaian jollof is much better.
Yeah, it is. Let's be honest. It is. Okay, so I've covered that. What is going on? I'm gonna have to reset my computer and I'll come back. It's playing out. My screen's flickering and acting weird.
Oh,
be
you're
back.
fine on our end. Like you know, I can
Yeah,
see your
but on my end, I'm just getting these weird flickerings. I don't know
beautiful
if it's-
ginger face.
Yeah.
So I think what we're gonna okay when you come back we'll go into the final hurdle now. I think we'll finish with LA. You ready to go on to that, or you want to talk about
You
other
guys
things?
crack on. I'm gonna reset here. I'm just pulling out some wires.
Okay, fine. So you know when the fires started, Tito, I thought it was just your stereotypical California wildfires, which has been happening quite a lot. But my God, like this is I'm gonna just excuse me, I'm just gonna show you some clips on TikTok.
Oh, it's bad. I've seen clips. It's bad out there.
It's really bad. Like this is from above in the skies. I think a plane. Showed earlier, and that circle of London he did was such a significantly large part of London. We're talking pretty much like the cusp of like the more like fancier parts of West London to
over. Yeah, move the. You can't really see it. Look,
sorry. I mean, make it full
Ginger
size.
left it and it shifted everything.
What's oh shit. There we go. I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
No, it's okay. Just when Ginger left, it shifted everything. So, yeah, I know it's bad. I mean, I've seen videos. I mean, and
okay,
not that
the aftermath.
Yeah, and not that I feel bad for like celebrities who have tons of money, but I'm like, I do feel bad about like people losing their homes and such.
Even people with a little with money, like to a degree, like this is like. Like you might have had money, you might not have money anymore because it might have to all fucking go into. You might have like $1 million or $2 million in the bank account. It might all go now because of this, and obviously they'll still be better off than a lot of other people. But what's the point of even saving if or generating a little bit of wealth?
Well, the other thing is I mean, out there in California, they have wildfire insurance, so it just depends. I mean.
But what I heard regarding all of this is like the way a lot of these buildings and homes are made. Like a lot of them are made out of wood, and it's just like somebody says, like a powder keg.
I mean, most all houses are made out of wood.
No, in UK, it's all,
lumber is kind of the main ingredient of a house.
In UK, it's all fucking bricks, man.
Well, okay, I take that back. I mean. You're right. You could have brick houses, but I
mean, in Greece, it's all concrete.
Look at before.
In America, most of our stuff is lumber.
Yeah,
I remember. Because I stayed with me and Ray when we were in New York. We stayed at a friend of ours' father's place, and I was just fascinated by the design of his house because it was all wood, and this was in Long Island. And
yeah,
it's a bad building material to have, man, because it rots. It's fucking shit, but it's cheaper. And easier accessible than like brick, I suppose.
like this is January. This shit's happening. It's not really not a renowned time of the year for shit like this.
Yeah,
But it's
that's true.
happening. This is fake, I think.
That was a fake.
Let's unpack 3 extremely fucked up things about these LA fires. And no, it's not the fire itself. Number 1, looting in the homes that were not burnt down. Homeless people and criminals are going into homes that were not burned down with the neighborhoods of homes burned down around them and basically stealing everything inside. Number 2, residents of Los Angeles County finding people starting homes on fire. Literally, a man was just arrested for a fire that has already spanned over 800 acres. They found fire starter on him, lighters, because there's no way that these fires are jumping from city to city. And the last thing that I find utterly fucking crazy are the volunteers and the people who set up vendor stands to feed the first responders and people who lost their homes. Oh yeah, they're having the LA Department of Health Services come out and investigate them. But not because they felt like it. No, it's because people called and reported them. I have to say, based off of the laws in California, it is very, very, very hard to support someone when you're coming from a conservative state. Because these poor people whose homes are getting looted, they have no means to protect themselves. The people who are out there volunteering.
I just want to say, yeah, on the right, they're having a massive argument regarding DEI hires and shit like that in the fire department. And the funny thing is that in America on a regular basis, there's natural disaster after natural disaster, not necessarily fires, floodings, hurricanes, whatever it may be. And nobody ever has a go at the fucking emergency services because majority of them are run by white people. But on this particular occasion, they happen to be like a lesbian woman who's got a massive, massive amount of experience in various things. She's a paramedic as well because she's in charge. They're going on about DEI. Have you seen the amount of fires that's happening in LA? Like, not even a whole troop of fucking fire brigades could put all of this shit under control. The whole city was on fire, not just a house, not just a building, the fucking entire city. It's just like something like this is unprecedented. When the whole fucking city's on fire.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
the California wildfires have been around for a long time, but no, this is the most popular. This is the most populated area that it's hit. Like there's been a lot of wildfires in California, but this is definitely the most populated area that it's hit.
Yeah,
but you can be you can be more strategic when it's in the woods. You can do fire breaks and stuff like that to stop the fire from continuing. But like with the winds actually transferring sparks and bits of flame across from one building to another, and all these homes being made of wood and shit like that, and you're not just trying to put out a fire, you're trying to save people's lives and certain bits of property that are very important and shit like that.
And also,
like
houses in LA should not be fucking made of. Well, houses in California should not be made of wood. When you're on a fucking earthquake plate, you know what I mean. You should not be fucking made of wood. I know the ones in San Francisco are more reinforced, but like.
Well, I guess this will be a great time for them to rebuild and make everything
in fucking concrete, not
LA. No, LA's not going to be the same again, dude. This is like honestly, like I think a lot of people are going to leave the city for a start. I was planning to go to
insurance. That like what again, covering what Rick B said. So I'm not ignoring your comment. A lot of insurance companies pulled out months ago from insurance houses, and they can't get insurance. So you're never going to be able to get insurance in Florida, in California, and all this kind of shit because the weather extremes and this kind of shit. Like it hasn't rained since March. They were saying since fucking March. That's
almost a year.
But guys, climate change is not a thing. Everybody, it's not a thing.
And that's why I wanted to get to the point of the DEI thing. They're using it as a distraction because it's going to corral everyone to kind of get behind that and be like, oh, yeah, DEI, and then us coming out defend DEI, and then that way climate change gets off scot-free. I say put the DEI thing on the back burner and emphasize on the climate change. And to be fair, a lot of people are doing that.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we've got one of your chief climate change deniers, an all-round horrible human being, James Woods, was crying on CNN that he's lost his house. But he's the one that was talking about, oh, there should be private firefighters, not fucking government-funded firefighters, and climate change is a hoax. and commie this and liberal this kind of bullshit. And well, there you go, Mr. Woods. You've just lost your fucking house. I don't know if you had
He was
insurance.
crying on television. I saw that interview. He was absolutely
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
No
but you
sympathy.
mentioned
The guy said kill them all when it talked about the Palestinians. So fuck James Woods.
Well, you guys know that why this is happening is because Hulk Hogan was booed
That's
in
it.
LA
yeah.
this week.
Yeah. You boo Hulk
But-
Hogan and now LA's on fire, for fuck's sake.
And on top of
Satan's
that,
favorite son.
unfortunately, like in 10 days, Trump's going to be in office. I mean, this sort of shit's going to be more prominent, and like natural disasters just seem to be happening on a regular basis in America now. Like everything constantly. If it's not a fire, it's a flood or an earthquake or a hurricane. It's just consistent. Like it's just absolutely crazy.
Well,
It
look,
really is.
my dad, bless my dad, is an absolute fucking genius of a human being. Not ambitious, but very, very, very smart. And he said, like he was talking about the jet streams, and he was going, the jet streams, if they slow down because the polar ice caps melt, it means the winds and temperatures get more extreme. And he says in the UK we will have hotter winters but windier winters. He said that 20 years ago when I was working with him as a fucking builder. Not reading it off an article, he just knows how the slipstream works. And that's why you'll see, Zam, in the UK this year we've had a record number of high winds and hurricanes. We usually get it October, but now it's happened October, November, and December. We've had up to 80-mile-an-hour winds. The snow, the cold weather, that's normal here. But on the flip side of it as well, we're getting less rainfall in the UK. And take that over to America, you're getting more extreme winds, less rain. And because the slipstream is moving slower, there's more, the heat kind of stays around and there's not enough rain to kind of come down and all this. And this one, you're just getting all these weather extremes everywhere. And for what?
Yeah, I agree.
Profit.
Let's have a quick listen to this.
Yeah.
How California is burning down right now. For 2 entire days now, Los Angeles has been on fire, burning down entire neighborhoods and turning the city into a living hell. But how did all this happen? After months without rain in California, the forest and hills were bone dry. Everyone knows how dangerous this could be, but as if it wasn't enough, strong winds began sweeping across California. All it took was a single spark then, maybe from a fallen power line, human activity, or even a small cigarette, and the spark grew into raging infernos. The strong winds fed the flames and helped spreading it through the hills, highways, and also into the cities all around. And all of a sudden, a whole city is on fire, making entire neighborhoods just fell into ash. The flames are crazy, and firefighters admit they can't stop them anymore. The winds are too strong, the fire too fast. If you're affected, check out Airbnb.org for free emergency homestays.
Yeah, like they haven't got the fires under control, by the way. I mean, whatever's been burnt down can't be burnt anymore, but whatever can still be burnt.
Yeah, you can't.
Is that El Nino, isn't it? El Nino, is that what? Yeah.
El Nino?
El Nino. It's just that AI.
El Nino or El Nino?
It's AI is bullshit. You need to know what's fucking real. This is a real one. I've seen this clip before. Look at that, man. It's like fucking apocalypse.
I don't see Oscar Isaac
here as well.
Yeah, incredible.
Well, my friend on Facebook, he just always helped them down for the wildfire in Greece.
The 2 biggest wildfires burning out of control around Los Angeles.
Listen, I can't wait for Trump to come in and be like,
I
inherited a mess in California. Biden left me all of this ash in California.
Have been devastated.
Yeah.
The forecast to
Joe Biden could have cleaned up the mess before he took it and gave it to me, but now I'm having to clean up the Democrats' mess.
On social media,
And do you know who's going to benefit from all of this, by the way?
Because I'm just like,
private property
I don't want to
developers.
see anything. It just makes me
They're
so
going to come
sad.
in, buy the land for free,
then
and
you
rebuild
come
the
through here and you
houses,
see it all, and it's like,
just going to fucking
it
either
is a
sell it for
nightmare. This is
extremely high
just-
price or rent it out.
Yeah, what is it, Blackstone?
This isn't real. You never think
Yeah,
it's going to happen to you, and then it does.
Or Black, right? Yeah,
The 2
they're gonna
biggest
come in
wildfires
and
burning out of
military
control
Black
around
Rocket,
Los Angeles.
yeah. Well,
This one I've seen before. This is real.
Yeah,
This guy
somebody at work showed me this one. These
He's
people
in
have their
hell.
dog there. I was so pissed when I saw that dog. I'm like, you fuckers are there with your dog.
You should have got the fuck out of there.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, there's the dog right there.
You're gonna be okay.
Look, I understand with the dog, but regarding the person still remaining in their house, is like this is their house. They don't want to fucking lose it, and
then you're gonna lose your life.
I know that. Like, but they're not thinking straight, and sometimes you just don't think straight.
Well, I about lost it. Like, I about lost my shit when I saw the dog there. I'm like, you assholes! Like, that dog has no idea what's going on, and you're gonna leave the dog there, like, with you. Like, get the dog out, and then you can stay like a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other tragic thing as well that people aren't talking about. Because, like, if you click on Variety, Variety's just telling you which celebrities lost their house. Like, you fucking insensitive pricks. Okay, it's sad. Yeah, it's sad that everyone's losing their house, unless they're a climate-denying piece of shit. In which
This
case,
is not a time. Yeah,
hilarious.
It's not like celebrity news here, for fuck's sake. Like, the only time there was a celebrity, Steve Gutenberg, who played Mahoney in Police Academy. Like, he was running around saving people, and we were listening to him. Fair enough, listen to him because he was doing something. Talking about fucking. Is that Harrison Ford? Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's just like, oh, what was the billionaires and the millionaires? It's just like, oh, it's sad, but
you're fine.
How blessed, oh my God.
There's no way that they predicted these fires happening.
There's just going to be no way that they're going to get their houses back. There's no insurance. They can't afford to rebuild. They're going to be a load of GoFundMes going up. Gavin Newsom's not going to fucking help at all because he's just another piece of shit. And, the rich will be fine. They'll just got another house. But
they've already got a second house somewhere else.
They've got 3, 4, 5, 6 houses. And Variety magazine sitting there fucking crying about the bloody celebrities losing their goddamn house. And it's just like, I mean, that's the problem with America. It's just because people are bred on individualism. They're all about their self. How can I save me? What's best for me? How can I do this? Me. Not about a collective trying to do something to kind of help. And obviously, the ordinary working class are going to be like that, but a lot of the fucking rich are just, oh, woe is me kind of shit. Yeah, Maui, we had the fucking great tragic fires of Maui everywhere, and private property developers have gone in and taken the land. The insurers have forced people off their fucking land. Say, take this settlement or get nothing and leave your fucking property. And they've just been, again, disaster capitalism. Whenever there's a disaster, capitalists are going to fucking benefit from it. They always have, they always will.
Incredible. A lot, one thing that did survive were a lot of the trees. They didn't get burnt down. I mean, trees hold a lot of water, I guess.
Yes.
Well, no, it's because of its bark. Trees are. That's what bark is for, is to protect the trees. So.
You can tell, like, you're in LA. Those sort of like those long ass palm trees, man. They're like so iconic.
Yeah.
And it's just, you looking at it, looks like that movie Escape from LA with Kurt Russell.
Well, this is the end times. We're on our way.
Yeah.
How it started. 11. Okay, so listen to this. 12:30 p.m. Look at it. That's before it even hit the city. People probably think, yeah, we'll be all right. And then boom, it just starts encroaching because it's so dry. It's so flammable. You've seen that movie Volcano?
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones, that's in LA as well. Getting vibes like that.
And also,
crazy, man.
Mute it. We don't need it. It doesn't help when you're fucking, again, Gavin Newsom, piece of shit, when 30% or 35% of your firefighters are prisoners. And you're paying them fucking next to fuck all.
Well. Yeah, you're asking prisoners to,
Yeah.
And then when you're asking criminals to fucking put out fires. But once again, No, but once again, Ginger, like this level of fire, like once it started burning into the cities, it was more than most fire departments in anywhere in the world I think would be able to handle when it came to this level. In my opinion, it was like this is unprecedented. Like I said, it's not like a one house or
No,
one
you can't.
building.
No, no. Look, Australia.
Yeah.
Like I said about Australia, they had a way bigger. It was way bigger than this. The Australia one that happened 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You can't contain it. So, but the thing is as well, like what I'm saying is, you're gonna have to build a more robust firefighting team that isn't just consisting of prisoners. You're gonna have to put proper, well-paid, full-time firefighters in the same quantity and masses as your military. That's gonna help tackle these wildfires before they get out of control. Because once they do, you can't stop it. You just have to contain as best you can and let it burn out.
Let's hear what this fucker has to say.
Oh, God.
It's a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are
Of course, that's what he's worried about, the most valuable homes.
This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They
They have plenty of water. Why don't they just grab some water and just put buckets on it?
They don't have a drought. It's just lie after lie.
No, this guy's a fucking idiot. Is that Turtle McConnell back behind him?
No, somebody else.
Okay, kind of looks like Turtle McConnell.
No, yeah, it looks a bit like him.
Yeah, I mean that how ignorant. Like, yeah, why don't they just hook up the hoses to the ocean and then start spraying from the ocean?
Here's the interesting thing. So this is what I want to find out after the fact. Unlike other wildfires we've had in America, like Maui and all these kind of places, this one here has burnt a lot of rich people's homes. So I will be curious to see if the news buries it after the fact, so to allow the privateers to come in and buy up all the property and, profit off of this tragedy, or is there going to be more attention paid about taking better action because a lot of rich people lost their homes? And is something actually going to be done because a lot of rich people lost their homes? This is what's going to be fascinating. This is the tragic fascination with this fire in particular.
I think maybe some precautions will be made regarding, fire prevention. But
I don't even know.
The climate change side of things, I'm not sure if they're going to go that direction. If you know what I mean, they'll try and find better ways.
I don't mean in that regard. I just mean in like effective fire preventative measures, like you said, actually being put in place. Or
I think that's definitely going to happen.
Climate change being highlighted more because rich people lost their fucking homes.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think that will happen. I think they're going to go down the prevention route and not the climate change route.
Well, because the climate change route costs more money in the long run.
More research, all of this shit, and
because it also $150 billion worth of damage. Whereas if they actually took, like, you could literally, in more than half the country, put in greener measures to reduce your carbon footprint, and it will cost even less than what the tragedy of this is going to cost.
No, but it also means that the right wing will have to admit that they were wrong, and they don't want to do that. But
that's the biggest price that they will pay.
Yeah,
and they won't do that.
They're wrong. They always move the goalposts or make excuses or whataboutism, and it's just like, no, that's why I ignore them and I don't engage. Once I've posted what I'm gonna post, one or two responses. If I see they're not gonna understand it, you just fucking block them and move on.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Arguing with them is just not even worth it.
This is the one. This is what I saw on Reddit.
Listen to this. Yeah, it's crazy. They're trying to fucking. Some people just want to watch the world burn. I hate to say, quote, but it's right there.
Commander 21 Charles, Roger. Commander 21 Adams is transferring.
Go through it.
Incident command. Commander 21 Boyd. Maybe I'm looking for 95-year-old
Mute it. I can't hear Ginger. We don't need to hear this.
What?
All right.
Oh, I couldn't hear what you're saying.
Like, how fucked in the head are you to want to do this?
Well,
like,
that's the thing is that
the shit out of him.
they catch one person trying to catch it, like trying to be a dumbass and catch a fire or set fire to something, and they're like, "Oh, this whole thing was orchestrated by so and so." What one side's going to blame the other.
Yeah.
Oh, the right was orchestrated this whole thing because the left lived there, like, or something stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they do the same shit in Greece. They always say, "Oh, we caught the people that started the fires." It's like, no, it was just fucking climate change, mate. Climate change and that fucking heat, and things can spark and ignite if there's enough wind around. For fuck's sake. Hey, Teague.
Admiral Teague. Admiral Teague is here. We should go back to talking about Trump
Teague.
and Elon Musk.
Look at that, man. Look how fucking far away from the fucking Hollywood sign it is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that I posted that one picture. I thought it was legit. Like, I thought it was actually on the Hollywood Hill.
It's really hard to tell. I'm just using my best guess now to tell what's AI and what isn't.
Oh, it was ironic.
This is AI.
We got fact checked by Facebook. So just before they're about to get rid of it, I got a fact check message saying this picture is doctored. I'm like, I know it's doctored. It's not the point. The joke was the point.
Yeah, well, I thought it was
real, but I didn't. I just thought you were doing the joke thing.
Well, I was doing the joke thing, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, I thought it was real. I thought it was a real picture, and I'm like,
this one,
Satan's favorite son.
This one looks good. Sorry, I didn't sorry.
It's just way too loud. Like,
oh god, that's gonna give me epilepsy. What else have we got? Is that real? You can read German.
Haben, Wagen, Schnaben.
We are a Nazi, remember? We got told that by Schroeder.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, I should be able to.
Yes, this was all caused by Jewish space lasers.
Yeah. Goddamn Jewish space lasers.
Jesus Christ, man. It really does look like a fucking movie at times, like post-apocalyptic film.
Now they probably will make a film about this and have like the white saviors come in and yeah, this is real.
Or the orange savior in one particular. Look, like there's a fucking tornado, a fire tornado being created.
Admiral Teague, where are you from? Where have you been?
Hang on.
I think
you never hear about Marjorie Taylor Greene's Jewish space lasers thing. That's what she said caused the California wildfires a couple of years ago. Look at that! Holy shit!
Yeah, this is Teague. This is real. Like the Los Angeles wildfires right now is a real thing. It is not a movie. Like, this is happening in real time. Well, this is not happening in real time. But like this whole thing, I don't have. Are there any updates on this? Like, I have not heard recently. Like, I know obviously homes are getting burned down, but like, is it getting under control? Have we heard anything?
No,
they've imposed late night curfew because of the looting. So obviously there's that.
And people, it's horrible to say. Look, I don't agree with the looting, but people are desperate and they're trying to survive, and they've lost everything.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it. I do not agree with it whatsoever. By the way, I remember you in New York. By the way, Rusty, just to more on the Jewish space laser. Marjorie Taylor Greene basically said before she became a congresswoman, she said on Twitter that the wildfires that were happening in California were caused by space lasers created by the Rothschilds or the Rothsteins and Rothschilds, basically making it Jewish space lasers.
Yeah, the fires are still burning. The largest of the 5 wildfires is currently 8% contained. Fucking hell! After burning down 20,000 acres. Yeah, that's the Palisades fire. The Eaton fire, the wildfire burning 13,956 acres so far, with 3% of it contained. The Lydia is 75% contained after damaging 395. Hearst is 37% contained after 771 acres. And the Kenneth fire, progress of the latest wildfire to break out was stopped at 1,000 acres and is 35% contained. Jesus Christ. That's crazy. So yeah, it's still burning.
Look at that, man.
And it doesn't help when you fucking sell off your water supplies to Fiji water. You stupid fucking idiots.
Let's see what Biden has to say.
Oh boy.
I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Indeed.
Oh God, shut up, mate. Seriously, no pun intended. Just pretend like you never said. Oh God. Like the current president and the next president. I feel so sorry for America right now. I really do. I mean, you're out of the frying pan and into the fire, and that's what you're getting, literally. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I don't think we have any good choices politically recently. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, and you never will.
Yeah.
Until you.
Anyone progressive on the Democratic Party will get thrown out.
We're just not going to get out of this until we get rid of the billionaires. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're constantly making distractions, even in the UK with their fucking grooming gang, saying like, you know, you got people like Elon Musk going on about grooming gangs in the UK. Elon Musk, the same guy who's pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell and is hanging around with fucking one of Jeffrey Epstein's best mates and Donald Trump. So people like Elon Musk can go fuck himself.
Oh, and Elon Musk is just becoming unhinged and out of control. And if anyone needs a Mangione, it's fucking Musk, because he's trying to interfere in like German, US, French politics. This is what happens when you have too much fucking money and unchecked power. You could just do all this shit. And the thing is, we changed the laws where we allow foreigners to fucking buy our politicians in this country. That law was changed, I think it was 2022, where we could just take in foreign donations. It's just like, actually, I think it was changed before that, but it's just like, what fucking world? And this is right wingers doing it, and in the same breath, they're saying, take our country back. They're selling your fucking assets to the highest foreign bidder. And it doesn't matter if they're white, brown, Chinese, they fucking own all your assets and your utilities. But no, take our country back for the fucking brown man that comes to work as a, a fucking doctor, nurse, or in the chip shop and all that. He's the fucking bad guy, dickheads.
Look at the aftermath here, mate. Jesus. Eventually the fire does burn out, but what's left? Sorry.
All right.
Wow. I mean, like, this is
shit.
Oh my God.
Oh no, you better get the fuck out of there.
Like, look at his grass is burning, man. The ground is on fire. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the worst ones I've seen yet, mate. Like, right in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it just moves so quick. Like.
Yeah.
What?
And it incinerates everything.
Oh, that's not.
This is AI.
That's AI bullshit.
That's AI.
You want to hear what Jamie Lee Curtis has to say?
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
Oh, look at that. What is that? Is that barbecue? Yeah.
We don't need you points.
Like I said, like, wow, look at these bloody fruits somehow survived. Like, like I said, like,
I don't think they'll survive for long. They'll probably die.
I want to see what happens in 12 months' time with Los Angeles, because
what a weird bitch.
Like, this whole country, you just threw that piece of fruit away. You know how valuable it is right now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like this whole city, man. Like I said, like, and the people, like all these people are homeless right now. Where are they gonna go, and what's gonna happen?
Skid Row, where all the other homeless are, because America is not gonna fucking help them.
Nope.
They're not gonna help anyone. These people.
We, the people, will help ourselves, but not anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't care about celebrities.
Yeah.
And yep.
That's terrible.
If only people cared about Gaza as much as they cared about LA.
Yeah, Teague, that's the top. That's
Yeah,
LA
Admiral
now.
T, come on, man. I
Check
thought
it
you should know.
yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where
Hey.
the hell have you been, man? This
Where
has been
have you been,
all
mate?
over the news.
I really want to hear what this lady has to say.
Evacuating my home, and it's so hard to leave the podcast studio behind. I know that's like sounds insane, but I have everything, you know, like my son's birth certificate, and but just to leave all this, like, you know, podcast studio is such a big deal to me because like it connected me to so many of you guys, and just to give you an idea, like this is the podcast studio, and then I don't know if you can see.
All of that. Oh, I can see the smoke in the background.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty close, you know.
She has to evacuate.
I don't know what I'm
I recognize her from somewhere.
weirdly,
Listen to some sort of Twitch streamer,
when you have to
YouTuber.
evacuate. I'm not taking the cameras. I'm just like taking little trinkets and like stuff that you guys
Real
gave
Whitney
me
Cummings.
at shows, and
Oh, Whitney Cummings. Okay, yeah. I know who that is.
I like the comments. They're like, Gaza's like this for months and nobody cares. No hospital is in Gaza. Okay.
But it's true though. You know.
It's true, but that's not her fault.
Listen, I don't watch the news either, Admiral Teague, but I've heard about this just by word of mouth and, you know, news reports on my phone and stuff like that. But I don't watch the news.
There's some things.
You scroll
which
Facebook for 5 seconds and you can find this stuff.
There's certain types of news. This is something you should know about, dude. This is not fucking Johnny Depp. Seriously, like you can't compare the two.
Although Johnny Depp might have lost his house at this point, but
yeah, but he can afford many.
For all of this, all those curries that he eats causing climate change.
Yep. Let's just find something else. Nope, look at that one. Oh, look at that. Is he like putting fire? Oh no, he's got a gas can which is on fire.
Yeah, that's just to create like a barrier.
A fire break, yeah, fire break, yeah.
Fire break. That's
right.
it.
It's not about Facebook. It's just about, there's various news outlets, man. There's tons of them, Admiralty. Tons of news outlets, mate. Not just on Facebook. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, there's that one again.
Yeah, some of them are repeating.
I think that it says part 2, but I mean, still, it's like I want to know how their house didn't burn down, or maybe they did. Maybe it did.
Maybe it eventually did. I don't know. Hopefully it didn't, especially with the dog inside. So, yeah, I think we've seen what we can see. We can.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it's tragic. It happens all over the world. Obviously, when a tragedy hits America, it's amplified tenfold, and all the political mind games start happening. It's just to say, look, this is climate change. This is going to be happening more frequently. There's a reason why insurance companies are pulling out of Florida as well, and Florida is not a blue state, and you're not going to be able to have your home insured because they know climate change is real, and the petroleum companies know it's real, and they've known since the 1950s that fossil fuels burning is causing climate change. They know this, and that's why they fund a lot of this misinformation to stop people focusing on the real problem. And idiot right-wingers buy it all the time. A lot of my friends have bought into it as well, and I'm like, here's a report from the 1950s and again from the 1970s where these oil companies knew that they were causing climate change and knew to fund misinformation, and that ramped up especially in the 1990s. But anyway,
sorry, like in America alone, as I said earlier, like there are so many fucking natural disasters. Like there's not a month goes by that there's not a fucking flooding like what happened in North Carolina or some hurricane twisters constantly. These, and now we've been having fires as well. Like if your country is is getting fucked on a regular basis. You know, it's going to be very. If anything, if you give a shit about the finances, it's going to be very expensive to deal with all of this on a regular basis. You can't keep rebuilding, every 5 fucking minutes because a city's been burnt down again, and the earthquakes, whatever it may be, it's just happening all the fucking time in America, all the time.
Look, it's in the end, it's the same reason why after the war, everything was brought into public ownership in the UK because it was too fucking expensive to leave it to the private companies to run because they're taking all the profits and not reinvesting anything in. Eventually, climate change is going to become too expensive to the point where corporations are going to be like, okay, we need to take action because this corporation is affected by your corporation's actions, and something's going to have to, because if it's all about profit in the end, and when you've got no fucking planet left and you've burnt everything to the ground, what's your profits going to be? Oh, ash will be next, and oxygen, and all this
Another
other.
thing as well, because like people watch too many fucking movies, they think, oh, the rich people, they're gonna, live in their underground bunkers or they're gonna move in space or whatever. It's all bullshit. You think a fucking billionaire wants to live in a fucking bunker for the rest of his fucking lives? They got billions. You know what billionaires do with their money? They go all over the fucking world. You think they don't want a fucking world to inhabit with all their fucking cash? Of course not. They want to be everywhere, anywhere, whatever part of the sunniest parts of the world, the most loveliest parts, the best ski resorts, you name it. They want to go to all of these fucking places. They don't want to live in a fucking bunker for the rest of their lives. It's not what they fucking became billionaires for. So hopefully, eventually, they'll understand that what they're doing is causing rot to the fucking planet, and maybe they'll fucking change their ways. But we can only hope, because end of the day, these fucking uber rich motherfuckers are the ones in charge, and they're the ones calling the shots.
No, Teague. I'm in Ohio, so I'm nowhere near any of that. So,
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for the stream. It's been a good stream. Covered a lot of things. Even managed to go off on little tangents on topics that I actually wanted to cover. So very happy about that. So thank you to my co-hosts, Zam and Cheeto. Thank you to everyone in the comments, as always, for your contribution. We always value everyone's contribution because engagement drives up all the other good stuff in that sexy algorithm. And with that note, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check out all our other content. And, well, chaos is reigning supreme.